I am on call for work.
Right.
Possibility I'll suddenly get summoned away.
Fair enough. How was the week, folks?
It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Okay, right on.
Fancy.
Pretty good on a physics 3 test, so I'm happy about that.
Sweet.
Flashbacks, the horror.
Relativity.
Mmm.
So, let's see what you guys got up to last time. So we had a week off, and before that, I think that there was a one-off as well. So we actually have to go back a little while. And... okay. So, your group had went back into the fire plane and was hoping to, go and check in and see that your two fugitive wizards were doing alright. And over there, you also had a talk with a group of the fire dwarves and managed to broker some sort of agreement with them. You successfully spoke with your friends who are there and are alive and well, but perhaps most importantly, got to speak with the Azer's Grand General and signed an infinite. I don't know if treaty would really work. It's more like a
Alliance?
contract. Yeah, an alliance which is said to end at the end of time, and essentially declares that the two of you are one force which will help each other going forward. In order to make this contract real, you must fulfill something, and they must fulfill something as well. You should be receiving a large ballista of sorts, a great weapon
How they're gonna
of
get
brass.
that through the portal, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Maybe they ship the parts. You know, it's like an IKEA thing.
Oh no!
Oh no, not Fire Dwarf IKEA. That's the
Wait a minute,
worst.
why do we have an extra screw?
I don't understand this. This one's a 2 and this piece is 3 and that one's got a triangle on it. I don't.
Can any of you read Ignan?
And in return,
Where's the
you guys
Allen
have to
key?
kill a noble. You have to kill an Efreet noble and bring the corpse back to the Azer and present it in front of the Grand General. Once
Easy
these two
peasy.
things have been done, you will become an alliance that will last until the end of time, and you will have ample supplies shipped to you from this alternate plane of existence, while you in turn will supply soldiers to the war effort against the Efreet. Now, if I remember correctly, you had just finished signing all of this, and were still in the Great Hall where you had spoken with this Grand General. You've all finished putting your signatures in it, and are still here standing in this city. What do you guys want to do?
What did we, with the Grand General, go over how we're gonna get to the City of Brass?
Oh, you did not.
Did he because I'm just trying to remember what specifically what we talked about last time. Was there anything about when we're gonna go do this? Because I know they said we'll help you get in there, but that was kind of all I remembered.
I thought we were gonna do it immediately.
Right. So we got.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was maybe we have an hour or two to prepare, but same day.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Also, is the general still in front of us?
Yes, you have finished signing the treaty, and if I remember correctly, you also did a couple of, down with the Efreet and all that. Everyone's feeling rather chummy. The paper has been signed, he's pocketed it, and you've received a copy. And that's that. He's still in front of you, though, so if you wish to chat with him, he is available.
I will pull one of our translators.
Yes, you
in-
have
in this conversation.
Mavrin with you as well.
Mavrin and my spell is probably worn off, or maybe I have
I think, yeah, it was on the tail end of being active. So let's go
I might
ahead
have a
and-
little bit left or something. Who knows?
I was excuse me, General.
Mavrin quickly translates for you, and he places his hand on his shoulders there as he steps in your direction. You can feel the heat coming off of his form as he approaches. He says, "Yes, what is it?"
After we return, there is something I wish to discuss with you.
Hmm.
And I will look over to Maverick in a hushed tone, like, you are not to speak a word of this to anyone else.
Oh. What do you mean? So you turn over to Maverick and then tell him not to tell anybody?
Yeah, about what I'm... 'Cause obviously, whenever we get back, I'm going to need Maverick as a translator again.
Hmm.
So I don't want him telling anyone except for me or the general.
Hmm. Okay. The general interrupts, and Maverick continues to translate for him. He says, well, surely you can tell me what it is now. Why must it wait? Our two cities are as one. If you have a problem of some sort, better to get it out on the table.
I don't wish to impose until we have proven ourselves, as we've already agreed to.
So you have more to ask.
Just
You
a
know-
simple thing for me. I don't even know if it's possible.
Very well. If that is your way.
Then I will speak to you once we return with the corpse.
He gives you a bow when you say this, and he takes a couple steps away from you, heading back towards the throne at the center of the room, and then he turns to you and says, so how do you plan to go about it? Or is that a secret as well?
Secret? Is he addressing the group at this point? I'm
Yes.
sorry? Okay.
Mhm.
Secret?
Well, he does have a point. How are we supposed to get into a flying city?
Well, I assumed that the Azure would be able to help us in some way. You did say you knew a way into the city, no?
I don't think they can fly. Look at them.
That's not what I mean.
Don't translate that.
Okay, you seem to have caught it in time before Maverick goes to speak again. The great general calls out and he says, yes, there is a way, and we can help you to get to the city, though you'll have to find your own way back.
Hmm.
Why can't we go back the way we come in?
It's a one-way passage.
What exactly is this passage?
Long ago when we built that city, we had installed different portals, and most of those have been deactivated since the time of our discontent and the betrayal of the Ifrit. But there are some portals that still exist. Sadly, the one that we have right now is only a one-way portal. You'll have to find your way back from the city. But we can get you there. But a minute's time, you could be in the Brass City. If you wish to leave now, that is.
Well, I think knowing that we now need to find not an escape route, but an exit,
Yes.
perhaps we should discuss amongst ourselves how we're going to do that. Once we're ready, though, who should we go to speak with to teleport to the Brass City?
He pauses for a second and seems to place his hand on his chin as he ponders, and eventually calls, and one of the guards come over. He speaks with him, and they seem to exchange something, and the guard eventually wanders back down to you and hands you what looks to be a scroll case. It is brass like most of the other items here, and as you're handed the case, he calls out, and Maverick translates. He says, this scroll should permit you access to this portal. Simply bring it to any of my guardsmen, and they'll escort you.
Understood.
Great General, tell me, What do you know of the weaknesses of the Ifrit?
I hope it's axes.
Sadly, no. The Ifrit are strong indeed, and we'll find them difficult in combat. There's one thing, though, that the Ifrit have proven weak to. It's coin. Read.
Perhaps that may be the way we solicit some time with a noble.
They have no concept of honor, only a desire for power, a thirst, a greedy one. They'll turn their backs onto anybody if they can make a petty profit off of them.
I think I have just the idea.
Care to share?
What is a very valuable thing that we've seen before, and we know others want very badly?
That we have?
Well, had.
Well, I assume you mean the puzzle box, but that isn't exactly something we could barter with.
Are you sure?
How could we?
We just need to make a fake one.
Meneltian puts his face in his hands and just shakes his head.
It doesn't need to work. We just need to convince them that it will.
Well, this is assuming a couple things. One, that they are aware of what puzzle boxes are and of the powers they hold, and two, that they'll even believe us without any evidence.
As you speak, Mavrin seems to give you a look, and it's one that you've seen before during this this whole talk, where it looks as though he wants to know whether he should translate this.
I give him like a slow head shake for no.
Okay.
I slap my hand on Meneltian's back. That's what we have you for. You're the smart one. Even I know that.
The large gates behind you fly open, and you see a few more of these fiery dwarves make their way into the hall, and one of them calls out. Mavrin translates for you that you might find out what it is, and one of them is calling over towards the Great General, telling him it's time for him to see the plans. And the General calls down to you and says, "We'll have to adjourn this meeting. Take that scroll and use it whenever you wish, but my kingdom calls me elsewhere."
I give him a bow.
He gives you a bow as well, and he
Also bow.
says, "To a strong alliance."
To a strong alliance.
And death to the Ifrit.
"Death to the Ifrit!" He calls out, and all of the guards, like even the ones who've just only been here for a minute, they all shout out as well.
This is too much fun.
With that, they start to wander off, and a couple of guards approach your group and motion for you to go with them, and it looks like they want to escort you out of here.
Yep.
Okay.
Follow along.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
fine.
So you guys are being led through the halls of this incredibly large palace, and while you're going through stairwells and up and down hallways, what are you guys chit-chatting about?
Well, apart from Dudaren's idea, does anybody else have some sort of...
Melturn, can you make some kind of an illusion?
I could... My illusion magics aren't that strong, and I'll kind of demonstrate with minor illusion, because what can that really create? Could that create like a puzzle box, since I've like held it and seen it and whatnot?
Yeah, you could recreate what looks like a puzzle box, but because it's an illusion, if anybody touched it, they would instantly know.
Right. So like I'll create like a little puzzle box, and I'll be like, but go to touch it now.
The moment that your hand passes, like, the barrier here of the illusion, not only does your hand go straight through, betraying it, but the whole thing wavers and the illusion dispels when you realize it's not real.
See what I mean?
what if we expand on Darren's idea? We get some sort of a display case. Put either a puzzle box, or I was thinking maybe a sovereign stone inside. We don't let the Ifrit touch it. We just show it to them and then close the box.
Mavrin speaks to you for the first time in a while here, without translating, just talking passively. He says, "Could certainly work better than just the illusion."
Or perhaps the Azur seem to be very skilled. Perhaps they could make some kind of metal construct that is, well, I mean, albeit non-functional, at least a exact replica based on the image that I can produce for them.
It's an interesting thought. My only concern is the things that the Azure construct seem to be very distinctive. I have a feeling the Ifrit might recognize anything of Azure construction.
This is true.
I have a question.
Oh boy.
Do
Yes,
we know
we're on.
that they're not going to kill us as soon as we're in the city? Is it a safe place for us to walk around, or do we have to sneak around?
Presumably, the Brass City, well,
I wouldn't say
from-
it's safe, but
No,
don't
the
think
Brass
we
City
bar
isn't
entry.
safe. Exactly. All
Would it
manner
not
of
cause
beasts.
suspicion to have some strange group of adventurers walking around?
I do not believe so.
Mavrin
the Brass
speaks
City,
up, and he says, "The Brass City is it's a marketplace in between worlds. You'll likely be no stranger than the rest of the people there."
Oh good, I'm not good at sneaking, I was not looking forward to it.
If it was just as dangerous for us to enter the city as the Azure, I don't think they would send us in.
Are you
Seal
sure
Team
about
Varrock.
that, Dudarin?
They're
Well, it's-
proud people. They would go and attack the Ifrit themselves.
I think they would send people to do it for them, like us.
to be honest, I do not think the Azure believe that we are, well, I don't want to say incapable, but I believe they think more highly of their own abilities.
Well, perhaps you, but I don't think I have that problem. And then Varrock will flex a little bit.
Oh yeah.
are there Azure guard walking with us here?
Yep, there's a couple in front and a couple behind. You guys are traveling
Okay.
through different hallways and stuff.
Kind
They
of
can't
using Mavrin to translate here. Can he have one of the ask one of them? Are the Ifrit weak to water? Anyway.
Okay.
What is water? We've never seen this.
Hey, that's what I'm
Water.
hoping.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna make a roll.
There is
for
no
ya.
water in the plane of fire.
That's it. We just
Well,
need to get
unless
the
you have a
Ifrit
cleric that can generate water on the fly.
and take them into the snow. They'll die. It'll be great.
Well, I can bet on one
Give them
thing.
a shower.
Lightning bolt will probably hurt them.
Where is it?
I think we'll probably fucked up Azure. They're made of metal.
Mm.
Not that I'm planning a coup or anything.
Right.
Nervously looks back and forth.
Don't translate that.
What the figgity fuck?
You say what the figgity fuck?
Yeah, what the figgity fuck?
I mean, I don't know, man.
Zip zap, zip zap.
I had it here earlier, and then I guess derped out recently. Give me a sec here.
Because they're fire genies, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Like, I imagine things on the plane of fire don't play well with water, but
You would think. You
I would hope.
think.
I
Right
feel
now,
like
I'm hoping.
I feel like that'd be just the shit that the Wizards of the Coast would pull to be like, fuck you. They're not. They're immune to everything.
Can't be
Gotta
weak.
fight fire with fire.
Oh, here we go. Okay. So, when you try to explain this, Mavrin multiple times seems to speak with the guard and get a look of confusion from him. And he it looks like he's rephrasing something over and over, and then eventually the guard like nods and suddenly replies back, and Mavrin looks over to you and he says, "Well, water's not exactly easy to come by here, and nobody really knows." However, the guard doesn't think it likely.
It's worth a thought.
If we're going to be attacking nobles, I don't believe that we should spend time trying on hunches. We should do what works.
Indeed.
Well, let's find out if they had any success with it.
Mavrin. You wouldn't happen to be in possession of any scrolls of teleportation of any, well, order of magnitude of power?
Well,
I would rather not be stuck in the Brass City if if things go south.
I have a scroll of teleportation, yes. But I'm not really wanting to part with it. Let me explain. I've taken a few things from the tower, as you might remember, and one of those is a scroll of teleportation, but it's linked to a specific sigil, so there's no way to change where it'll take you.
Ah, I understand.
So I've been keeping this as a last resort if there's nowhere to go. If trapped and there's no hall to run down or no door to try, then this is the last stop for me and Alestri. So
Where does it go?
I think that's rather unimportant.
Nonsense. We've saved this man's life. I'm sure he can share with us where his teleportation scroll goes.
And some of us also put it in danger.
Well, that wasn't me.
he says it travels to the far south of Skyfall.
Happy? Vora?
You can see he's racking his brain trying to think what's south, what's the far south of Skyfall.
Good.
The southernmost edge of human lands, Vorok. It's many cities away.
Don't waste any precious energy on this conversation. I do not think it will go anywhere.
See. Well, like
Moreover,
I said, it will work. You can have the whole group step through if you're swift, but I
that
don't
wouldn't
know
exactly
if I feel
be
comfortable giving it
ideal.
up.
Well, the south of Skyfall isn't exactly where we would like to end up either.
It would certainly be a long walk back to Valoo.
In the cold.
Yes.
Why don't you come to the City of Brass with us?
Well,
Perhaps you could help us find a way out once we're in.
we could travel with you, I suppose. Be
There
my
were some
assistant.
things you wanted to gather, were there not?
Yes. I'll have to talk it over with my assistant and see what she thinks. But
We can leave you out of the noble killing part. If anything goes awry, you can just act as if you don't know us.
make a persuasion roll, Vorok.
Uh-oh.
He's so persuasive.
Okay.
Oh, he is.
15.
15. Maverick gives a slow nod and he says, "Yes, perhaps."
Well, think about it, friend. We won't pressure you, but we'll definitely take the assistance.
He seems to be deep in thought.
I've seen Melatiern cast Featherfall before, right?
That would be quite the fall.
I was gonna say, no, I don't think that you have.
Yeah, yes.
No, yeah, in the jungle dungeon
And
part.
in the puzzle box.
Well, one of the puzzle box ones he wouldn't have seen because he was already dead when you did the jump.
Right.
But
There
in
was
the
one
jungle
though
one, I
that
think you
was
saw it.
like a yeah. I'm pretty sure you saw it.
Yeah, you would probably know this by now.
Could we not just jump off the city and you cast that slow falling spell?
Do I know how far off the ground the city of Brass is?
You know that the city of Brass hovers pretty far up, and there's a chance that if you leapt and immediately cast a spell, it would not work. If you wanted to, you would probably want to time it so that you're using it near the end.
That sounds terrifying.
Yes. Also, last time
Well,
you saw it, it was hovering over a
over
lake of
lava.
lava.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the
there's
problem.
Though it does seem to move around.
Dude Aaron's
there
not
are-
smart enough to suggest parachutes. So
there are two problems with that. One, the city of Brass lies well above the ground. The spell I have, Featherfall, lasts for about 60 feet or so. We would have to time it very, very perfectly.
How much money do you have? Mavrin says
Me?
as he turns over. The group.
I have, give or
Wait, does it last a
take.
minute?
Well, think about it. The city of Brass is a
It
meeting
lasts a minute,
place.
but you fall. I think your descent slows to 60 feet
60
per
feet
round.
per round.
Oh, so I guess that's like
360 feet.
360 feet. Okay, I read it wrong. Whoops.
Somewhat per room.
Mhm.
I have 21 gold and some change on me.
I have about 89 gold.
That's grim.
So
Okay,
about
well that's
50.
better.
I have
Most-
4.
See, they say
Most
that you
of our-
can purchase anything in the city of Brass. Perhaps you can
Mhm.
simply buy your way back off of the city.
I was going to ask about that. Surely there's some way that they leave the city to the rest of the Plane of Fire.
I think you're
Right,
right, Ivan.
but-
There's likely portals there, although...
Or if not the Plane of Fire, then we could leave somewhere else in Skyfall.
Yes.
Hmm.
Though nothing there is free, which is why I ask. You might have to purchase your way off.
We'll also have a dead body with us. That's kind of hard to hide.
Yes.
That's true.
Perhaps we could purchase some kind of scroll for use whenever we please. In which case, whoever else is involved wouldn't have to see the body.
By now, you can see that you're traveling down a staircase which is going to an exiting gate, and you're about to be outside of the palace. As you guys go down the last few steps, one of the guards kind of gives you a nod. He seems to exchange some sort of goodbye, a few words that you've heard fairly often during this time and kind of are able to clue in, those of you who have higher intelligence.
Death to the free, right?
Something like that, yeah. And Mavrin responds in kind, and then the five of you begin to wander off into the city proper.
Since we talked about money, I should say we should still have 200 gold in the restoration project fund. But that's
Restoration
Yeah.
project? What's that?
Civilly Restoration Project.
Oh, you've been putting city money together?
Oh, we had like 400
Well-
and then Jack spent some.
Well, doesn't Jack have all of it?
Yeah, like so,
Yeah,
oh,
but I think
so
he spent most of it.
Mm.
I don't know how much he has left. I don't keep track of Evolution spending.
Mm.
He's probably trying to keep all this shit together.
I mean, look, we could just go to the Brass City, and assuming that they don't immediately know that, oh, we've been sent by the Azure to kill a free, we could hang out for a day or two and figure it
Indeed.
out while we're there.
That may be our best course of action at this point.
Mavrin nods to you and he says, as long as you appear as though you're there to do business, you're just going to be like everybody else, so you should be fine. I don't think they have prior warning of you, do they?
They shouldn't.
I don't like how
But
you
we did kill
responded to
those
that.
snakes.
They did attack us. We could always claim self-defense. I don't see an issue there.
Don't know how much that's going to buy you.
What
Let's
about
just
the-
hope that they don't know.
What about the one we killed before?
Hmm.
Someone may have known that he was in Valoo It's
Not only that, but he did have a fire elemental with him who we had to let. Well, it wasn't. We were the ones who escaped with our lives, barely.
I don't. As a player, I don't know if those are sentient, so I couldn't tell you.
Just walking fireplaces.
Yeah. It's
Hmm.
it's a thing to worry about. But
Indeed, at the very least.
Well, if
If
they
we're
were
going-
interested in Velu, perhaps we should not mention Dudairn's name.
Hmm. Perhaps.
Could claim to be from my homeland.
Which is.
I don't believe
Uh,
we've asked you.
I don't think I. Hmm. Have we really made it this far?
Yep.
Hmm.
Where do you come from, Ivan?
Well, I'm not sure
Doesn't-
how exactly to explain it, but I think it's a different world.
Fascinating.
Is it too covered by an endless winter?
Not since I last checked.
Hmm.
Well, I did kind of get sucked into a portal and fall out of the sky, so who knows?
Hmm.
Fair enough.
Hmm.
If we claim to be from Faerun, that should negate any suspicions that we may be related to Blue.
Faerun?
How do you
Give
spell
a slow
that?
nod.
Everyone seems deeply confused.
Mavrin, have you heard of a Faerun? I guess
Mavrin?
not.
Maverick? I poke him.
Sorry, I was distracted. Um,
Maverick was deep in thought.
he shakes
We
his
could
head.
jostle him. I lean over to Darren. Are we sure Ivan has it all together?
He doesn't. Can I insight Ivan?
You certainly can. Please do.
That is
Oh.
a 2.
Nice.
You don't know if he's telling the truth or not, but he's proven to be a useful ally so far.
Well, he doesn't seem crazy.
Are his eyes rolling in his head?
I'll give a slow nod to Darren. Well, nevertheless, if this is the case, I think we have most things figured out for a trip. We would just need to retrieve Westry if you and her wish to come along, Mavrin.
Hmm.
This is entirely up to you. I still have your list of things that you would like purchased from there, and I'll pull out what you called a rogue wizard shopping list.
Yes. I don't know how keen I am to part with safety. I think,
Understood.
in a strange way, this city might be safer than the Brass City.
Likely.
Well, we are about to throw it into chaos.
Indeed. Well, we could, if you are willing to part with whatever monetary wealth you have, we could certainly take some gold and see if there's anything on this list we could purchase.
It's a tough decision. At this point, you've been traveling down through the streets and eventually make it towards the sort of darkened area where their abode has been sort of carved out. And Mavrin sort of stands in front of the door there for a second, and he says, Give me some time to talk this over. Come find me in a bit, if that's okay."
Understood. And I'll give him a nod.
He gives you a nod and then steps inside to the building, leaving all of you out on the street. What do you want to do?
Well, what now?
Is there anything we need?
I believe I'm well ready to go. I would say we could use some more rations, but something tells me that the metal dwarves don't exactly eat the same way we do.
We could always buy food in the Brass City.
I
Like-
can make food, I think.
Oh. Well, that solves that problem.
I didn't know
It's
you were
not
gifted.
berries, is it?
No. It's not tastiest, but it'll sustain you.
That is all I care about.
Well, if we don't need anything or can't get it until we reach the Brass City, then we might as well just go.
Well, we have to wait for Mavern and Westry.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you guys wait out here for a little bit, and not really having much in terms of money to spend, or perhaps deciding to wait till later on, you let a few minutes pass, and eventually the door opens up, and Mavern approaches the group, and he has a sort of sullen look on his face, and turns to you and says, "I think we'll be staying here."
And do you wish for us to pick anything up while we're there?
Well, if you can find any of those items, it would be useful. That's definitely would still help.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suppose the best I can offer is we'll see what we can do. We will have to divert most of our funds, I imagine, to our escape plan.
Yes, of course. Put that ahead of things, obviously. No sense having you all get killed in the city.
Indeed. Well then, Mavern, I suppose we'll be seeing you on the other side.
I suppose so. I hope you guys do well over there. It's been a pleasure. Aside from the being chased out of town by the wizards and everything.
I get used to it.
He opens his eyes wide for a second and shakes his head and he says, No, you don't. He turns
Well,
to shake your hand, Metal Turn.
I shake his hand. I think we should be going, then. Thank you, Mavrin, for everything.
Good luck out there.
Give him a nod.
Okay. Steps
I'm
back
all-
into the house, leaving you all alone out on the street.
Now, not to be racist, but
That's a great way to start any sentence.
do all of the Azure look the same?
Ah, they have different facial features that have been carved in metal, so that if you
Okay.
like really pay attention, you can see that there are differences between them. But they
Okay.
are all crafted and have definitely been made in a way that makes them look very similar. Like if they're beyond 30 feet from you, it's pretty hard to tell one apart from the other.
Mm-hmm.
Are the
And are the guards wearing anything in particular?
The guards seem to be identifiable as standing there like alongside the streets with weapons in their hands, whereas the rest of the people seem to be moving here and there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I go approach a guard.
Okay. The guardsman gives you a look as you approach.
I give him a nod and I hand him the scroll given to us by the general.
Okay. As you go ahead and show him the scroll here, he says a few things, and none of you really understand what he says, but then a look of recognition comes over his face, staring into the page, and then he nods and hands it back to you, and then starts to wander off.
Okay, and we follow him. Or
Okay.
at the very least, I'll follow him.
All
I'm
right.
following him.
You're led
Don't wanna
into
speak for
a
anybody.
part of the city which is kind of off to the side of the large palace, which has its incredible forge in front of it. Over towards an opening into the rock face itself, you're taken deep into hallways that go winding through the darkness, and you pass by a few different sets of Azure guards along the way. You're clearly going somewhere that's under heavy lock and key all the time. And by the time that you get there, you end up in a room where in front of you there appears to be a portal, similar to the one that you've seen at the, like hidden underneath the cliffside in Volu. Though this one clearly has ruins around it, as though it has been made by some sort of different means. The Azure kind of steps up and triumphantly gives like a low bow and points his hand over in the direction of this portal. He says a few things too, though none of you understand what he's saying.
Does the portal turn on?
The portal seems to be always on. And
Okay.
in front of you, it's got like a glow of some sort of reddish, orangish light, and what looks to be faint images that can kind of be seen from it. It looks like a checkered pattern almost, and as you stare at it, it looks more like brick almost, like you're staring at a wall or cobblestone.
Okay, like this might be the inside of a building somewhere or something.
Maybe, yeah, perhaps that's where it leads to.
Or like a brick wall on the outside of a building, in an alley or something. Okay, I'll just give him a nod and I'll just gesture for everybody to go in.
Okay. Do you all step in through this portal?
I will step through.
We do.
Okay.
There's
Whoa.
40 Ifrit on the other side. They all kill you
They all kill you at once.
at once. No rolls.
I can't
Nothing.
deny the possibility.
Okay.
Wouldn't
2
exactly be
seconds.
a surprise, so to speak. You enter the portal and immediately trigger a trap.
As you step through the portal, one by one, companions disappear beyond the magical barrier until you find yourselves on the other side. When you step out, you realize that the brick pattern was from a wall that you must have stepped through. And looking behind your group, you can see a large oval circle, which is kind of like a fluorescent orangish chalk almost in a brick wall. And as the last of you has stepped through it, the whole thing kind of simmers and its light becomes more and more diffuse until eventually it disappears, as though it's some sort of portal that's hidden in this brick wall itself.
Right.
After a few seconds, maybe about 10 or so, there's nothing there and it looks completely normal. You're in
Okay.
a dark area, and all around there's a there's like an alleyway that you're in, some sort of low road perhaps, and it stretches off towards the left and off towards the right. And towards the left you can see that there's traffic near the end of it and sounds that come from it, as though in that direction there must be people and activity and something going on over there. Whereas over on the right side, you can see that it's much quieter in that direction, and there's little sound that comes from that side of the alleyway. And in
Right.
fact, at the end of it, it seems as though it gets darker, though there is a clear exit at its end. Which way do you guys want to go?
I suggest we...
Looking left, do we see people like walking past the alley entrance, or is it out of sight?
You do, though it's far down. It's like maybe about 100 feet away in that direction.
Okay, can we see, do they look like the normal looking humanoids walking past, or is it all free and like fire elementals?
Ah. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Haha.
May I look with my eyes as well?
Please
No.
do.
Perception. That is a 10.
Okay. Average.
That's 17.
17. Okay. Ivan, you can see that there's quite a few people going here and there, and they seem to be there seems to be no real pattern for them. When you're in a human town, everyone's roughly this height, and they move kind of like this, but over here, as you stare down, it's just a mishmash. Meneltern, as you're staring further down the alleyway, you get a few more details. You see what looks like somebody who walks past the alleyway who's about 8 feet tall and has a set of 4 arms, and riding on his shoulder is some sort of impish-like creature, while a group of what appears to be a couple of halflings walk in the opposite direction. And then you see something else that looks like some kind of demon with a large tongue that hangs from its mouth and practically drags on the ground behind it as it goes past. It's just all craziness. Though you think you see a couple of humans in there.
So I look to the group. We're going left. I think we'll blend in there quite well.
All right, I'll nod and start walking in that direction.
I'm assuming my hood has always been up, but just to make sure that this is stated, I want to, like how I traveled from Arendor to the north of Skyfall in a very inconspicuous fashion, just kind of really trigger that as much as I can.
Turn the subterfuge up. Okay.
Should I put on a shirt?
Is Dudarin not wearing a shirt?
No.
I have chainmail, but you can see through it. You can see my giant
Nipples?
scar of Tilva.
They might just think he's into like some weird BDSM shit or something like
Warwick
that.
doesn't have a shirt on either, so.
Are you well, I mean that's a little bit more.
Why is everyone around me undressed?
Help, they don't have a no shirt, no service policy.
I mean, I just have a giant identifying mark on my chest.
Right.
That's-
So I look at all I have are winter clothes. And they're for me. How tall is Dudarin?
I am. One sec. 5'8".
Oh god, I'm much taller than you.
Here, put this shirt on. I've got some common clothes, so I'll take it out of my bag and hand it to him.
Okay.
I'll take a shirt and just throw it on over my chainmail.
There you go.
There, good to go.
Bulletproof vest.
It's gigantic on you, by the way.
That's fine. I'll tuck it in my pants.
I just sigh and keep walking.
Okay. As you guys start making your way over there, there's a sudden commotion at the end of the alleyway. 2 figures rush inside of the alley, and one person is pinned against the wall there, as another one who holds in there suddenly has some very terse words with him. What do you guys want to do?
Can I hear him?
You certainly can, and their voices echo out down the hall, traveling the sort of 60 feet towards your group.
Common?
And they are most certainly not in common.
Okay.
They sound like the languages of evil beasts.
They're not in like Infernal, are they?
They are.
I speak Infernal.
Does anybody else?
No.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
You can understand them. This one holds the other against the wall here and says, "You signed the contract and you're going to pay. Don't make me call my men." And the other one kind of like doesn't even say anything to him at first, but you see his lips curl back, revealing not humanoid teeth, but like a large set of fangs and razor sharp teeth that kind of crisscross back and forth. The other one lets go of him and then starts to wander back off into the crowd, leaving this strange human to stand there for a moment. He turns down the alleyway and sees your group.
Is he doing anything? Like, because Meneltern will like put out his arm like as their kind of confrontation is happening to kind of like just be like, hold on a sec, let them resolve whatever they're doing.
Okay.
Is the humanoid walking towards us? Is he like, or is he just like looking at us?
He collects himself, getting off of the wall that he was just pinned against, and kind of like ruffles out his clothes, dusting off the shoulders sort of thing, and then turns and sees you all there. He stares at you for a moment. Do you guys do anything?
Does he look familiar in any way?
Oh. Roll perception, please, Dudarin.
Warwick puffs out his chest and stands there as intimidatingly as he can.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Can't do these wisdom rolls, man.
Oh, thank
16.
Christ.
You have never seen this man before, but in front of you here, you watch as, like, before your very eyes, his features become more and more human, as though some sort of strange enchantment is causing him to kind of change form in front of you and assume, like, a less imposing look.
Right.
Go ahead and roll intimidation for me, Brock.
Given like my vision, is that like completely natural for him to do, or is it like some kind of disguising spell?
9.
9. Okay. You're not actually sure, dude, Darren.
Hmm.
You don't know what it is that you're staring at, and can't really tell if this is a natural thing for it or something out of the ordinary. The creature begins to take on a more and more human appearance. It looks at your group, and then slowly kind of steps away from you, and then flips a hood over its face as it makes its way back into the throng of people.
I'm just gonna nod and press forward now. Now that now that that's over.
Once he's out of sight, I would just speak to the group. We should be extra careful here.
Just don't get involved in
Oh,
other
Rebecca.
people's business.
Yes, this place is weird.
Astute observation, Vorok.
Nod at you.
Thank you.
Well,
It's
let's
good to be
try and
recognized.
find. Let's try and find a way out of here before we start doing anything reckless.
Indeed.
You step out of the alleyway and into the sounds and the sights and the splendor of the city of Brass. All around you are palaces topped by large brass, sort of like those circular onion-shaped objects that I'm sure all of you have seen before, like the... I don't
Oh,
actually know
like
what those are
the
called.
Kremlin?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know what they're called either.
There's
like
probably a name for
architecturally.
that thing specifically.
I'm gonna Google that shit.
Please do. You see that most of the large buildings here are filled with those, and other buildings follow sort of like an Adobe style where there's no actual like brick or anything like that. It's just plaster and different openings here and there. And all around you are all manner of creatures. What is
It's-
it?
It's literally called an onion dome.
Oh, okay. There are onion domes on a lot of these buildings. Nice.
I mean, it has like a weird Russian name that I do not think I could pronounce.
Yeah,
but-
we'll just let that be. As you look up and down the street, you see that there's all manner of characters. There's a couple of robed humans walking by. They look like a consortium of wizards or something. Each one of them has a staff in their hand and long beards. You see some of the half-folk. You see a couple of elves wearing leather armor. You see
Whoa, what kind of
demonic-looking
elves?
creatures and devils of different sorts. Ooh, what kind of elves?
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll
Also-
luck for you. That's 10.
Super important for me.
You see what looks to be 2 wood elves that walk by.
Nah, I don't care that
Do you
much
want to be
anymore.
on the lookout for high elves?
Yes.
Make me a
I'm
perception
assuming-
roll.
I'm assuming they're going to be slave traders, but something gives me a hunch. My
Also-
people haven't exactly been great about that sort of thing.
What
Oh.
color cloaks were those wizards wearing?
Oh, they're wearing red robes.
Mm. That's a
Similar
good
to
old
other-
6.
Okay. You look around, but it's a flurry of activity, and it's really difficult to actually kind of pick that out. Just looking for the, like the characteristics of your people and the way they sort of walk and the pointed ears and everything is difficult amongst this because you're not even looking in a crowd of humans and gnomes and whatnot. There's like that person that just went by has wings instead of hands. And so the
Wing
whole thing
hands.
is really difficult to pick out.
Right.
Um,
I would also like to be on the lookout for like some kind of magical shop.
Ooh, okay. Now, in the city that in the street that you're in right now,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that you have stepped out of the alleyway where it was just like regular brick onto some kind of it's almost like a sandstone or maybe a marble. It's like a polished white stone that you're on right now, a white road that extends and curves down with an elegance, and you can see that it sort of leads into some other district that looks possibly more busy than yours, and there's a whole bunch of these larger buildings all stacked up in that direction. As you look at the crowds, it seems that the majority of people are moving in that direction. Now, in the opposite direction, you can see that the road winds up and goes to a different part, a little bit quieter, but the buildings are not nearly as dense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys
Perhaps
wanna do?
maybe a noble or living section. I want to walk towards the more busy part of town, which I'm assuming is some kind of market.
Okay.
I just got back. Did I miss anything important or?
We saw like some crazy shit. There was some guy with wings for hands, I think.
Wings for hands, got it.
All the buildings have onion domes.
So, you speak Infernal, right? Does
I do.
anyone in the group speak Abyssal?
I
Nope.
think
I don't have my sheet
Zygataka
with me.
was the only one.
Okay.
I have Elven, Common, Dwarvish, Celestial, and Infernal.
Okay.
Celestial and Infernal probably being the two more important in this situation.
As you turn to move in the direction of most of the crowds here, you watch as you find it's easier to kind of go in that direction, and traveling with the flow of people is much simpler than going in the opposite direction here. As you're wandering along, you hear like the sound of crackling lightning that comes from a building nearby, and flashes of light that come from it. Nobody seems to pay it really any attention.
That is the most useful information I think I've ever heard, and boy oh boy am I glad that I took the lightning bolt spell. Good to know if I use that on an Efreet, no one's gonna give a shit.
The sound of lightning and the flashes of light from this building is shortly followed by a bunch of yammering in some other language that none of you understand, and then the sound of coin being exchanged, like a heavy purse being handed to somebody. As you're wandering past, you see that coming out of that building afterwards is like a set of 12 like gremlin-like creatures that start to wander out. Each one of them has like a small sack over their backpack, and they all seem to be talking amongst themselves. As you keep going, is there anything that anybody is looking for specifically here? Metal Tyrant's
shop.
looking for high elves and a magic shop. Is anybody else like trying to like between all the crowds and the buildings, like spot something in particular, or are you guys just like taking in the sights and wandering along, and that's that?
Work is definitely overwhelmed with everything and just staring around like wide-eyed at all the weird creatures.
Okay.
Whoa, that guy has 3 eyes. Whoa, look at that one.
Same. I'm
Oh,
probably
that's
trying
wearing a
to.
shirt.
I'm probably trying to like find a friendly face somewhere around here.
Ah, you're looking for somebody that you recognize.
No, someone that I don't think will kill me in an instant.
Oh, okay. You get that vibe from like
Probably
everybody,
harder to
pretty much. Everybody here seems like they could kill you in an instant.
Do a lot of them have shirts, or is there a lot of shirtless creatures here?
It seems that most of the people are wearing
Asking for a
shirts,
friend.
except for the creatures that are most certainly not like one of the normal humanoid races. The demons that wander past and whatnot seem to not really care for clothing.
I'll give like a little nod to every one of the shirtless
Okay.
creatures I see
He's
as we
gonna-
walk by.
He's gonna get us killed.
Make an
This is how
intimidation
we
check
die.
for me.
Oh no, I'm not trying to intimidate
No,
them.
no, just do it, please.
Oh no.
Why?
11.
Okay. As you look over, you notice that staring at these creatures and making eye contact with them elicits a response of sometimes like they straight up stop amidst the crowd and stare over at you, and you have a few times where they just kind of blow it off, and one of them will look at you and then just keep going. And as you continue walking, one of them that you look at, who's not wearing a shirt, that you kind of give like a nod to, stops and stares at you, and its eyes seem to like change color as it looks at you, and you get the feeling like it's sizing you up, and then it turns and continues walking in the crowd.
Thank Christ.
Alright, I'll just keep going about my business then.
Jesus.
Nodding at
man.
shirtless creatures.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
I don't
ahead.
want this to be how we die.
Alright. As you continue walking, there's no real way to tell if you are passing by a magic shop or anything like that, Minotaur. You look left and right, past the throngs of people at the different shops and buildings from which all sorts of crazy creatures come and go, but you don't see anything like a sign that points out that magical items
Right.
are being sold here.
Is there anything that would like indicate like a central like bazaar area or something like that? Like a central marketplace or something?
As you make your way down the street, you find out that where you're headed, this area with all the buildings and most of the people, seems to be something like that. And as the street sort of opens up, it takes you to a square where there's a whole bunch of different stalls and tents and
Okay.
people doing business, exchanging items. But it seems like you're actually on a plateau of sorts, like a raised area, and off in the distance you can see the tops of more cities, of more of these buildings, as though you're kind of on like let me see here.
Now that we've just for after this description, kind of like, does this kind of give a better sense of the size of the city?
It's
Now that
quite
we've
large.
like reached a plateau, okay, real fucking big.
So you guys have just come down like this winding road into some sort of marketplace here, and up ahead, past all the stalls and everything, you can see what looks like the edge of a wall, and past that there's just more and more buildings that extend out.
Okay.
All around you, you can see there's a couple more streets, like one heads off in this direction, there's another one that runs along here and goes up to some kind of stairwell, it seems, and goes down to like a lower level.
Right.
And there's quite a bit of bartering and stuff for sale here, it seems.
Okay. Just walking around and kind of seeing what's for sale. Do we also get an impression of what language is prominent?
Oh.
Mm.
You hear interspersed between different people quite a bit of common here and there, but it's clear that there's a lot of languages floating about. So it's definitely looking good in that your language does seem to be one of the ones which is being thrown between people here, but there's quite a bit of other words that are going around which seem foreign to you.
So just walking around the bazaar, can we try and find a magic shop of some kind?
Sure.
I mean, or any maybe high elf magic shops. You know, maybe I could get an inn or something. Like, hey, I'm
Roll
a high elf,
insight
you're a
since
high
you're
elf.
leading the group here, Metaltyr.
Oh
Your
boy.
perception failed you, but perhaps your insight here will lead you in the right direction.
So fucking insightful.
So insightful.
10. That's a 10. That's
Okay.
average.
As you wander around, you notice that one of these tents seems to have an elderly man that sits out in front of it, a gnome of some sort, and he seems to be bartering with a group of small gremlin-like demons, and eventually shoos them away. Some of the wares that he has out in front of the tent look like they may be magical.
Okay. I'm going to approach this gnome. How does one address someone in the plane of fire? It's not good day or good evening, I would imagine.
That's a good question. You guys approach this tent, though you haven't
Hey, what's
passed
up?
the threshold where you need to talk to him just yet, so you can think about that.
I'm just gonna say hello, gnome. That's what I'm going with. That's what Metaltyr has decided on in his head. He doesn't care that much about other races,
Okay.
obviously.
Are you wearing your mask, by the way?
You fucking bet.
Okay. He looks up at you and he goes, "Hey, what you guys looking for?"
Teleportation magic.
Yeah, I got those. He gets up and starts to rummage about and presents what looks to be a bunch of, like, different ingredients up on a small stand here. He says, "All the stuff you need for teleportation."
Preferably in a scroll form, actually.
Oh, jeez. I don't have any spell scrolls like that, sir.
Do you know anybody who would?
Well, I might knows a guy.
I see where this is going.
Do you? He taps
want-
his foot on the ground here.
You want money for your information.
Jeez, you guys must be new. He holds out his hand.
Right. And I look, instead of putting anything in his hand, I just look to Vorok. Vorak, would you mind helping me in this transaction?
Oh, okay. And I'll take out my 4 gold.
No, no.
You told him not to start anything.
There's something to hit Meneltier's head against.
Just the ground.
Okay, Meneltier, he just almost grabs Vorak by I don't know, just kind of turns him a little bit. No, I mean, and whispers into his ear. No, I mean, intimidate him for the information. You are very large and strong, and he is very small and weak. Do you understand where this is going?
Yes, I think I do.
That was so unconvincing.
Can you make a stealth check, please?
Me?
No, Meneltier.
Okay.
Because he's trying to tell you this covertly.
I have a feeling this guy's just gonna think we're fucking idiots.
I'm
Although,
sure
I
he
mean,
already does.
so that's a 14 plus, I believe, 2. Give me a
Okay.
second. Yeah, 2. 16.
The gnome waits impatiently, and as you whisper over to Vorak, you get the impression that he hasn't heard your words. He waits and waits, his hand still outstretched, and then he snaps his fingers a couple times. Well,
As we turn around, I'll let Vorak do whatever he has gained from what I told him.
Okay, so I'll turn and I'll bend down to the little gnome.
Well, I'll give you one last chance to give us the information for free. You see this here?
And I'll hold my one hand out.
It's just about as big as you are. You see this other hand? Well, that's like 2 of you.
intimidation check, please.
Wait, hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay, yeah, no. Give me the
Put
real
space
sales pitch.
between us.
My hands alone are as big as 2 of you, and if you don't give me this information, well, I might have to use them to crush you into a tiny little ball, throw you into a pool of lava.
Please don't be a 1.
That's a 7.
It wasn't a 1.
He holds up one of his hands, and in his hand here, he holds what looks to be a fairly small potion. And he says, "You know what this is, big guy?"
Oh God.
Do I know? Because I am a herbalist?
Oh, roll a herbalism check. Add a wisdom plus the thing there.
better on
Just
that one.
12.
Okay.
Don't you have a proficiency bonus?
Yeah, you should have proficiency if you...
Okay, so
You should-
15 then.
Okay.
There we go. That's better.
Staring at that, it looks familiar. You think that it's a potion of enlarged self, but there's something different about it. Something that you don't recognize. A glint in the liquid that you're not familiar with.
I can assure you, little gnome, nothing in that potion will make you big enough to defeat me.
He says,
I
"Yeah,
ripped the head off a chimera.
That is true.
try me, buddy. You'll be dead on the ground before the Ifrit get over here to pull you away. We'll have to scrape you off the pavement."
I don't know if I can do this. Can I sleight of hand and snatch the potion out of his hand?
You could certainly try. Yeah. Do you want to go for it?
Yep.
I like where
Shopping
this
in
is
the
going.
city of Brass. It didn't
When
take
did
long.
Darren become the reasonable?
Okay. I'd like you to go ahead and
That's how
make
it's
for
done,
me
Darren.
you can make a sleight of hand check to try and grab that as fast as you can. If you don't have sleight of hand, then just straight dexterity. He's gonna make a dexterity saving throw contesting that.
Ooh. Okay, what's...
That's
My
pretty
That's
good.
a 20.
Pretty
isn't
good.
it? Or is that a...
so that's gonna be a 20, yeah.
Okay. He's expecting it and quickly tries to pull his hand away as you lunge for it. But as he does, he kind of slips, stepping onto a pebble that cracks underneath his feet, and you grab the bottle from his hand with a swiftness here and manage to yank it away from him. And he looks at you in horror for a second as you hold it there.
Perhaps I'll drink this potion. We'll see how big I become.
He quickly looks left and right, up and down through the crowds, and we roll luck for him. Oh, he's not particularly lucky. He looks back and he goes, "Okay, guy. Okay. Look, I got a friend. He's over in that building right over there. You want teleports. He's your guy. Just, I didn't mean anything. I was just looking to make, you know how it is, right?
I look at Vorok and I'll give him a nod. Hopefully he knows what that means. If not, I wouldn't be that
Rock
surprised.
drinks the potion.
Smash the gnome.
And what was your name there, gnome?
I'm back.
He goes, well, that's not important. Yeah, I already gave you what you want.
I
You already
think it
gave
is
us what we
important.
want, Vorok. I think we can go.
Uh,
Although I wouldn't test to make him angry.
my name's Ted.
Well, Ted, thank you for the information, and I'll hand the potion back to him.
Mhm.
He,
Yes,
he
thank you,
snaps the
Ted.
potion from your hand here and quickly puts it into his coat pocket and takes a couple of steps back and he goes, okay. You see a bead of sweat that kind of falls down the side of his face here.
I'll wink at him.
The wink.
He gives you an uneasy smile. Are you
Oh,
guys
I'll
headed
smile
off?
back.
Yeah, we head over to Ted's teleportation guy.
Okay.
As like they start to walk off, I'll stop and say, "Don't mind them. They've been on edge lately."
Okay.
What?
He doesn't seem to be calmed too much by this, and is still in the throes of the fear that has recently washed over him. As your group begins to wander off, you see something. There is a circle that is formed of people. There must be something going on in that direction. Now, it's not in the same direction as the building that you've just had pointed out to you. Do you guys want to check it out, or just keep going? Is
Yeah,
it
let's
take a
best
second
to
look
just
at it.
let things be, or go and see
I
what's
mean-
going on?
I mean, I like passive bystanders. Not gonna get involved, but I mean, when in the city of brass, you know.
Well, we might get involved. Let's see what it is.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Just a little rubbernecking. That's it.
I would
Yeah,
like everybody to roll either athletics or acrobatics to try and make it through the crowd to a point where they can see. And Vorok, this will be easy for you because you're tall as hell.
Oh no!
Finally, something I'm good at.
Yeah, athletics. Wait, did you
modded
say
20?
acrobatics as well?
Okay,
I
modded
got-
20.
I got a
I
big
don't think-
10.
I don't
I
think
gotta-
it matters.
I got a 15.
Okay,
I got a 6
alright.
with acrobatics.
The crowd is thick, and you guys start to make it to the point where you might be able to get through, but the only one that really manages to is Ivan. You're able to kind of like muscle out a few people's legs. You hear what must be curse words in foreign languages as you finally get up to the front. And as you peek your head and see what is going on here at the center of the circle, it appears that you stumbled on an execution. There's two Ifrit here. One of them holds the hair of some sort of being. It appears to be an elf. And he says something to the crowd, which elicits different cheers and responses. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
That is a 9.
Okay. You hear what sounds like somebody nearby in common who shouts out, "Thief!" And there's a whole bunch of other words going about, but this is the only one that you really get amidst all this screaming. The Ifrit finishes talking, and the other one pulls out an incredibly large sword, and with that, a single downward swing, and the elf's head is severed from his body. Everybody kind of pauses for a second, and then there's a few cheers, while others simply turn and walk away. The head is picked up, and it and the body are carted off, leaving nothing but a pool of blood and like a long red streak in the white stone here as they take him away.
Do I get to see what kind of elf it was before
No,
it's?
as the crowd disperses and you finally get up to where Ivan is, the scene is kind of cleared, though you can definitely see the blood all over the ground.
Is it a legit like execution spot, or do they just cut his head off in the middle of the street?
In the middle of the street.
Every spot is a legit execution spot if you make it one.
Exactly.
That seems rather harsh.
Let's
Yeah,
not
there-
try and pull that same stunt you pulled with the gnome again.
Well, it'll work out as long as I'm faster than them.
Exactly.
I don't think the Ifrit will
Vorok.
take kindly to if you see that pulling on one of the merchants here.
Vorak, remember what we're here for.
To
Don't.
kill.
Nope. Shush.
He's-
Shush. Shush.
He's thinking about it.
Just-
What are we
just-
here for?
Think with your inside voice.
I think that's the same as my outside voice.
Then don't think at all. Just
Wow.
Just don't do anything like that guy.
Let's make our way over to Ted's teleportation shop or whatever it was.
Okay. As you begin traveling in that direction, you watch as some sort of portal erupts in the crowd of people here. It's quite large, and stepping out from it, you watch some sort of 12-foot tall demon-like creature with wings and a flaming sword that emerges from it. And as it does, with its free hand, it turns over and shakes hands with some other demonic creature that is sort of slumped over and looks like it's some sort of like just mash of different appendages. The two of them begin to wander off towards like a nearby tent. As you guys finally make your way over towards the building here, you find that written above it in a plaque, which is readable but kind of small and wouldn't really be noticeable from across the way, you can say that see that it says "Ye Old Magic Shop" on it in common.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
No way. No fucking way.
You. No.
What?
Are you fucking with us?
What?
You
Is
know
it-
who we think it is.
What?
The wizard from oh so long ago.
Is
The
it?
one that travels around on a little cart?
Yes.
I don't know about
Is it
that.
spelt all weird with the extra e's?
Yes, obviously. This isn't
Either
amateur
him-
hour.
So
Either him or the who's that? The guy with all the bandages. Those are my two guesses.
You guys, what's a magic shoppy?
it's shop.
No, it says shoppy.
You don't pronounce that.
Don't try. Never mind. I walk in.
Okay.
E's are silent, Vorak, as we walk inside.
Oh,
Thinking
E-
deeply
all-
on that.
all E's are silent.
As you step inside,
Why old magic shop?
you find yourself in a room that has a bunch of different shelves and displays here and there. And all about you, there's the sort of feeling and tinge of antiquity. You can tell that these items are old,
Old.
and magic and are in a shop.
Ah.
Behind the countertop, however, there's some sort of strange magic in front of you. And it's like there's a darkness or a mist that obfuscates you from seeing what type of entity is there. Though
kinda like
two floating eyes at regular head height can be seen. They look over in your direction and then disappear for a brief moment, as if blinking. And a strange and alien voice comes out from the mist and says,
Says what?
it says hello.
Okay. Hello. I heard
Welcome
that.
to my shop. What can I get for you?
Yes. We are looking for some sort of teleportation magic, preferably in a scroll.
I have such a thing. I have many things, in fact. Are you looking to travel somewhere specific?
More or less. How specific can we get?
Behind you, you hear the sound of crumbling stone, and notice that the light in the room is becoming less and less prevalent.
I look at the sound of crumbling stone. What is going on?
The doorway
do I.
is sealing up and closing behind you. There's no... the proper door that you have traveled through is no longer there. Instead, it's just like two slabs of stone kind of pushing together and closing the area.
The door, does it always do that?
There's no response, but the two glowing eyes continue to stare at you until the crumbling finishes and the doorway is closed.
Hmm. So about the scroll we were looking for.
Better not to have prying eyes.
I'll give him a nod.
My magical collection is vast. How specific? Well, let's say I can place you near anywhere for the right price.
Well, how about where the former city of Velu once stood on the material plane?
There's a pause for a second, and the eyes kind of move around and almost seem to look at the four of you, taking a moment individually to examine each, until eventually landing back on you, Meneltir, and saying, "So that's who you are. Well, I can certainly send you back there. However, it's not going to be cheap."
How much are we talking?
Let's see. I have an old record here for a sigil back in Velu, but it's not one known to many. I could sell you a scroll that would take you there for, let's say, 500 gold.
Okay. I'm sorry.
If you know who we, if
I
you know,
think that is rather unimportant at this point, if that he knows who we are.
if he knows who we are, then we need not go that far back.
How much would it cost to travel within the plane of fire?
I have cheaper locations.
Like?
Let's see. Ah, yes. There's a settlement, one that you'll find near the Lake of Fire, one that I could send you to. However, well, it'll cost you about 350 gold.
This settlement, who inhabits it?
See, now you've asked too many questions.
Hmm,
I'll have to ask
I?
you some in turn. To whom do you draw your allegiances?
Ourselves in the city of Velu.
The city of Velu, has it made enemies in the last few days?
Depends on what you mean by enemies.
I see. It leads to a coven of wizards that live on the side of the lake. Now, whether or not the wizards will take kindly to you arriving through their teleportation circle, I do not know. Somebody just smashes their table.
Someone just have like a stroke and die?
No, it's just me. Good.
I'm just gonna look at the party. I'm confused at how Mr. Eyeball Man thing knows who we are.
Again, to Vorak, I think that is rather unimportant.
Are you sure about that? If he knows who we are, perhaps others in the city do.
At the very least, I do not think he cares who we are. To an extent.
He cares about our coin, that's all. Am I wrong?
Well, there are other things that I care about, obviously. But coin is definitely one of those.
Speaking of other things you care about, 350 gold. It is a price we are unable to muster at this moment.
I
Perhaps
see.
there is other manners of payment that we could
Yes.
seek out.
The voice calls out again and says, I'm not interested in slavery, High Elf. I have to find something else.
Nor am I. Evidently, you do not know me well enough.
We're in town on business. Maybe there's
Aren't
something
we
we
all?
can procure for you that would cover the price, if not lessen it.
The offer of help has shown up on my doorstep, has it? How much trouble are we willing to get ourselves into here?
I would ask that it does not conflict with our current mission.
I see.
We're,
How
Or
about
at
we
least
conduct
not-
some smaller business before we talk of conspiracy? And then maybe we can arrange something to get you this scroll. I have many other items that are for sale here. Potions and information as well.
I will pull out the Rogue Wizard shopping list and I'll like put it out towards the dark cloud
Ah.
visage. And I say anything from either of these lists.
An invisible force unrolls the note and kind of flattens it out on the table as the eyes hover closer from within the dark mist and stares down at the list. Then the eyes look back at you and say, interesting. I have some of these. Reagents mostly. Your list in total asks for roughly about the same amount that your scroll would cost.
Perhaps we can find a job that would cover the cost of both. Although if the amount of trouble that is worth is a little outside of what we want, perhaps we'll just stick with the scroll.
perhaps the trouble can go hand in hand with our current job.
Perhaps.
On different notes,
Talking in code here.
Yes, Ivan?
speaking to the eyes and mist,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested in any information you have regarding if I could transport myself to Faerun.
Hey, Table Talk, do Darren see the same thing as we do, or does he see anything different with your light?
Mm.
It's a good question. Darren, you can see past the mist. There are a set of disembodied eyes there, and you know that what's playing out in front of you is some form of illusion, and that there's no actual creature there in front of you.
I mean,
It's
we're
all magic.
already like on like a knife's edge being in the city. I'm not pushing my luck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He can, if he knows who we are, he probably knows I can see his real self.
Mm-hmm.
Probably knows why we're here too.
Whatever
Depends
this
on how
is.
much. I mean, I don't think anybody really gives that much of a shit in this city.
No, obviously not.
I'm not familiar with this world that you speak of, but there may be others. Perhaps somebody can help you here.
Any recommendations?
No, not really.
Well, I believe that maybe all of the business we have to conduct, all of the things we wish to purchase.
Side note, illusion. I can create holy water, right?
You
As a
can.
cleric?
There's a process involved in it, but I think you can create holy water on your own.
Do you offhand know like what materials are required? Slash, I'd like probably like to buy them, given the opportunity.
Oh, I see. Holy water costs about the same as a bottle, like a healing potion. I think it's like 50
Is
GP.
it that much?
Yeah.
Holy water is 25
25k.
for a flask. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. It's useful in certain circumstance.
We find any vampires soon?
Let's see here.
Well, it's a component for Magic Circle, so.
Hmm.
A cleric or paladin may create holy water by performing a special ritual. Ritual takes an hour to perform and uses 25 GP worth of powdered silver. Requires that the caster expend a first level spell slot.
There you go.
Okay. So it's 25 GP for 25 GP.
Yes.
Damn.
But you would be able to prep it and I don't know. Kind of keep it on your person.
Right. What else is like around in this shop that's just kind of like out and about?
You can see trinkets and stones, books, daggers, a helmet over in the corner, that sort of thing.
Are there any spells that I want right now? I don't know. I think we've more or less pushed to the limit what we can purchase. How much gold did we have total when we were talking to Mavrin?
Maybe like 150, 200.
150, 200.
If we want to just like throw it out now again so we can have an actual number.
So I have 89.
89. I have 51. What does everybody else have? Rourke has 4.
Yep.
How much does Darren have?
I have 21 gold.
Okay. So we're sitting at like 165 for everything.
So, whoever you are, do not believe we got a name, nor do I know if you wish to disclose that. Regardless...
Do I look like somebody who likes to keep his identity up front?
No, you do not. Nevertheless, we have approximately 160 gold to put towards...
You don't tell him up front.
You just did.
Something tells me...
Haggling 101.
Something tells me this is not the kind of guy you want to haggle with. Something.
Everybody in City Brass.
There's one person you can haggle, and he's in fucking... What's it called?
Somewhere?
John?
Len Ma.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful man. Okay, so you tell him that you have 160.
To put towards whatever... To put towards what we want, and to lessen the degree of the task we must complete to get the rest.
Alternatively, if you know of a existing portal that we could use that would put us somewhere close to Valu, I think that would also be acceptable.
Tell me, does this sound right? The emissaries from Valu have come here and don't know how to get back. They are much poorer than I thought they would be. That seem about correct?
Right on the money, as you would say.
Very well. I may be able to help. I have eyes in different parts of this city and the rest of the world. If you're looking to get out of the City of Brass, I have cheaper ways of doing so instead of the scroll, though they will still cost money. However, I don't think your 160 gold is going to cut it. Lucky for you, there is one thing that I want. You, sir, the broken arm, have the eyes of a god, and I am open to purchasing them from you.
Oh no! No!
I can acquire for you a set of normal eyes.
Oh.
Easily enough. The procedure is relatively painless.
Relatively.
Relatively.
Keywords.
What do you say?
Now, table talk.
Don't do it.
Table talk. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Table. I
You know
mean,
what we're gonna
tabletop-
do? Normally I'd wait another 20-ish minutes. I think we'll go to our first break here while you guys
Oh
talk
my
this
God.
over. Okay.
Illusion, I hate you.
So we'll be back in a minute, folks.
Yo, let's just cut out his eyes.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you're giving him like the eyes of a god, that's worth a hell of a lot more than
Yeah.
a 350 gold teleportation scroll.
That is true.
Yeah, like
Like, you got resurrected by a god and got given eyes that give you true sight.
Give him one eye.
Probably worth at least 1,000 or 2.
Yeah, can we
If-
do a
if-
50-50? Can I just keep one? Get a
Can you
roll?
keep
Yeah.
one, you get one, you know.
But the eye
I
that he
mean,
gets has got to have
That'd be
dark
pretty
vision.
interesting eyesight,
Yeah,
Like-
no depth perception past 60 feet.
right?
I mean, like, yeah, obviously, like the eyes of a god, I have to, like, they're worth some money.
hmm So the thing is, if we do want to go along with this, we definitely have to ask for much more.
I mean, table talk, I would try and, like, trick somebody else into appraising the eyes of a god for us somewhere else first.
Mm,
Be like, I have the eyes of a god, what are you willing to offer?
That's using your noodle.
there you go.
So,
Table talk.
I will let you guys think about that. I'm gonna go heat up some coffee. I'll be back in a few and we'll start back up and see how negotiations go.
Mm.
I mean,
Hear me?
he, like, I mean, he wants my eyes, so obviously, so
Wants
And
my
we-
eyes.
so obviously he's depending on depending on how bad he wants them, he'd be willing to offer us much more.
At the same
Mhm.
time,
Yeah, but we don't know what
Tilda
the
be
upper limit
pissed?
is. Like, our gods with eyes were at 500 gold, 1,000 gold, 10,000 gold.
1,000,000 gold.
Like,
Probably not
no.
1,000,000.
Something that literally just gives you true sight. I don't know how valuable it is. Nobody knows.
It's not
In
exactly.
character, I would be kind of pissed if you sold the eyes that Tilva gave you.
Well, yeah, would Tilvin not be pissed off to be like, "Oh, I gave you"?
I
a
feel like
gift
that's
and
kind
you
of
sold
rude.
it.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't think Dude Darren would sell his eyes.
Not even to see normal again.
This is better than normal, honestly.
I mean, yes.
I can
to
only-
60 feet.
I can only see 60 feet, but it lets me see so much more.
Mm.
Also, I was given
Like,
them by a god.
The more than 60 feet that you could buy for like less than 300. You know, magical
Right.
glasses or something.
Magic
Well,
glasses.
and think of it
Yeah,
this way:
like, I
like,
don't
what is
know.
it?
It's an
What's the
Abraham's
cost? What's the cost of a level 6 like spell scroll? Just to start off,
Level 6, but that's probably quite a bit.
Yeah.
right?
Fuck.
So true sight is level 6, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
think
I mean,
so.
there are other items that also give
Mm.
true sight. Like, I think there's like a lantern of true sight or something. Not just spell scrolls, but
Mm.
But as like a baseline, right? Like it's at the very least worth what same cost of a level 6 spell scroll. would
somewhere
be.
it's probably somewhere in that area. And level 6, I feel like would be at least 1,000 or 2,000 gold.
Yeah, and so you're getting a spell for like an hour versus the spell
Versus the eyes that just work all the time.
forever.
Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Actually, looking up what the cost of a 6 roll is.
We also don't know what this thing is. Like this could be the anti-Tilva, like an emissary of the whatever god that hates Tilva that now.
I
is
mean,
getting
regardless
her
of
eyes.
who it is, I still feel like it's
It's
rude
still-
to just sell
yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, hey, she gave it to us. We can do with what we want.
This is my eyes are probably worth closer to like 2,000 gold,
yeah.
Okay. Probably a little.
So, like,
bit.
right off the bat, he's lowballing us.
and that
Perhaps.
could be per eye too. I don't know.
When you
Mm.
could perhaps lend out like use of the eyes. You
It
can
doesn't
rent
sound
me
like this guy
for
wants
an
to have a
hour.
service. Like, he's
Like,
just
do Darren gets them during the week, and then they go over to him on.
Well, no,
the weekend?
Darren would have to come with the eyes.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like he needs them to use. It's
Wait,
more of just like
this could
an
be the
object that he
opportunity.
wants.
This
Hmm?
could be the opportunity.
Hmm?
If we were willing to give up my eyes for like get the scroll, something else, maybe he could also fix my arm.
Mm.
Mm.
But table talk, I'm also like the thing with the Azra. I was trying to see if they could give me like a metal one.
Yo, that'd be cool.
There you go. There's a plan.
So
So, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how good the Azur's biomedical engineering is, but we can certainly.
Considering they make themselves,
Just gotta
I
find
mean,
some magic
they might be able to
somewhere.
figure something out.
Infuse like a metal arm with some kind of magic.
Mhm,
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Like,
mhm. And I mean, Dudaren's been looking for a reason to cut off his arm ever since Len let
it
off.
happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, just cut it off. I don't need it.
I mean, do we have anything of value that's not just gold? Like, I'm looking through my inventory. I have I have chainmail. I have like 2 short swords, some daggers, rope, all the rope. Do
I've
we
seen
have anything of like value?
I have some chimera bits.
Chimera, nice. Wait, didn't you like take the heart or something?
No, I took like bone and stuff like that.
No, I have legitimately nothing of value.
I got a draught of fortitude.
Other than that, like, if I had good shit, it got eaten in the puzzle box.
Mm.
I have this nice lockbox that we got off those dead dwarves.
I don't think it's gonna go for much.
Probably not. Maybe
also have a
a
lockbox.
gold. Maybe. Common clothes, winter clothes. Have a map
It's
of
definitely-
blue. Plane of fire.
It's definitely not worth it. Like,
no,
No.
not at the current state of the bargain. I'm gonna run to the
we should see
bathroom real quick.
if he'll give us the corpse of an Efreet noble. For my eye.
Oh, wait a minute.
Just buy it.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking with your
That's
noodle.
kind of a dick move, though, to the Azure.
Is it though?
Is
I
it though?
mean,
He had to die somehow.
yeah, but like the whole point was we kill him, we bring him back as proof. They didn't want the corpse itself.
Well, I feel like they'd be happy.
I mean, they merely
they
asked
would be
us.
happy.
to-
Like,
They asked us to obtain the corpse of an
no,
Efreet
they asked
noble.
us to kill an Efreet noble and bring back the corpse as proof.
Well,
They
what
don't-
if like
They don't care about a corpse of an Efreet noble. They want us to prove that they're on their side.
Well, what if Mr. Spooky Ghost is like would go and kill one for the price of my eyes?
I mean, that's something different. If he just happens to have a corpse already, because when a freak got too drunk and died in the streets, that's not really what the Azure are going for.
It certainly seems a little bit easier.
But again, what's the price on an Efreet noble's head? That's probably crazy high.
Right.
Yeah, definitely probably.
I mean,
exceeds
considering
my
this is
eyes.
the Efreet city, and I'm assuming nobles aren't.
Easy to come by.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I can't do this deal at least not with this.
Oh no, at the current state, absolutely not.
No, but it's
Although-
good to know that they have value, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I'm
Uh,
like trying
same.
to figure out if like I can do magic as like a service. If that would be useful in any way. Probably not.
I'm hired muscle. That's all I am. Be right back.
Also, be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's like in character, I was gonna be against it just because like Tilva gave you the eyes. It's probably considered poor form to sell them.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
I'm gonna admit, I'm looking up online how much something that gives continuous true sight would probably cost. It's a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah, just looking up the spell scroll, like said, like
And not even
2,000.
spell scroll. There's looking at like one site and it's like goggles of true sight. Somebody else is saying like gem of true seeing. Those are all like tens of thousands of gold at least.
Extra fuck this guy then.
Yeah, like I definitely know.
Oh.
Welcome back, sir.
I got back just in time to lose connection with the server.
Nice.
Thanks, Steve.
But
Able to
there,
strikes again.
there is like the whole thing of he knows we have no way out of the Brass City.
Yeah,
Mm.
but the next
So-
person we find who has teleportation scrolls doesn't know that.
True.
I mean, for all we know, there's just like a public use portal that goes to somewhere in Skyfall, right?
True.
And we just don't know because we know nothing about the City of Brass. Or there's
And we
like a
could-
dude who has a portal in his shop who's just like, ah, yeah, 20 gold, and I'll like direct it somewhere like 105 places.
Mm.
Like, we don't necessarily need a scroll. We just need some way to exit
Well,
the city.
the thing about the scroll is once we kill this noble Efreet,
Can
we
just-
can just leave instead of
Yeah.
dragging a corpse through the city.
I mean, we don't need the whole corpse. We could like cut off the head, and it's like, here's the head of Noble Free. Close enough.
What did the Azers say? How much do they want?
Well, he said corpse, but how you interpret that, I mean.
Yeah, like piece of a corpse is. I mean, you bring the head of a noble Efreet. Look, it's an Efreet. He looks noble. Here's his head. Body was kind of big. You know, Vorak was tired.
Does anyone know? Do any of us have enlarge reduce?
Uh,
I don't.
had I? I think I might be able to learn it, but it would take like a day to actually get there. Do I have it?
Are you there, Vorok?
I don't. No.
Oh, Vorok's not back yet. Okay.
Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really helpful.
I mean, alternatively, table talk. We could try and find a bag of holding or something to just like put the
Hmm.
body in.
True.
True. We can have him toss that in the deal for Dudaren's eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm making that deal regardless of what he.
No,
Unless
it's,
he
not
gives
a, it's not a great deal.
Unless
I mean,
he
like,
gives us something
regardless.
absurd. Unless he offers something absurd, it cannot.
Hmm.
I mean, I was hoping you at least had like Tensor's floating disk.
No. I don't have.
I
those
have too many
kinds of
combat
spells.
spells to have that.
Wait, could you cast Featherfall on him and make him really light?
Doesn't work like
For, for a minute, I think.
Work with me,
No.
Lucian.
that.
Once he hits the ground, it's done.
True.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay. Are we all good to go?
I mean, are we?
Probably not, but
Alright.
let's do it. Is that what I'm hearing? It sounds
Yeah.
like that. Alright.
I mean,
Welcome
we're
back,
not looking
everybody.
for-
You're in the shop where we took off, and this
Oh,
man
shit.
has just asked, or creature, eyes, has just asked to purchase Dudaren's eyes. You guys do.
My eyes are worth much more than a teleportation scroll.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I didn't intend to offer them just for the scroll. I'm a profitable man, but I'm not some swindler.
And what would your offer have been?
I'm searching for buyers right now.
I'm just imagining some like wizard on a computer like throwing up an
Hitting up
eBay
that
ad.
Google.
Yeah, like let me find a buyer.
Craigslist ad got the eyes of a god from some human dude.
I see a few early responses. The eyes move about as though they're scanning something that's not actually in the room. It takes a pause here to stare over in your direction, Dudarin, and says 3,000. 3,500. Are you willing to sell just one?
I look at the party.
I look at
Ivan looks at you disapprovingly.
they're your eyes.
Oh, well, that's finished. I've managed to secure a replacement pair.
This is tough.
Ah. Heavy bidder from the plane of air. Sorry, 5,000.
I look at you, Darren. That's a lot of gold.
I know it's a lot.
After the new eye replacement, how much would that leave us with?
Well, that depends on how picky your friend is. Sir, with the broken arm, did you have a name?
Again, I quickly look at the group. I'm like, oh, he knows who we are.
I elbow him in the side.
Dude, Aaron.
No! Don't say that.
I look at. God,
Oh, goodness,
Middleton doesn't even try anymore.
that's you, isn't it? Wow, not how I pictured. Dudarin's eyes. 6,500. Well, depending on how picky you intend to be, Dudarin, does the color matter?
Does the color matter?
Well, my eyes were originally brown.
I can secure a pair for you. The brown eyes are rather common. Those may be damaged. Maybe 100 gold estimate.
That's not much off the final price.
No, it
Brings
won't.
brings us to about 64. And how much would the replacement cost? That is the procedure.
There's little. I have many contacts. I can get a team put together rather swiftly. It shouldn't be more than a few hundred gold. And then there's my
62.
cut, obviously.
How much?
Well, I have no need for the eyes specifically, but to connect you with somebody willing to buy them and put the operation together and everything. Not too much. Maybe
How
1,000 or
much?
2 here off the top. We'll see what
that-
numbers I can pull up.
That brings us to about 5,000. Off the 6,500 bid you were speaking of.
I'm afraid I must decline your offer. These eyes of mine
What?
see a bright future for Baloo. And despite the protest of Menotyr,
It's just a lot of gold I think we're passing up.
I cannot give up
Darren.
something that I've been gifted.
Yes, you can.
160 gold will not carry you very far in the city of Brass. And as far as I can tell, looking at your crew here, you have little of any worth on you. Now these eyes may very well make your stay here much more comfortable and a great deal easier. Not to mention the things that you could purchase while you're here. Your friend's shopping list easily taken care of. This teleportation scroll. You'd have money to spare.
No.
Well,
I implore you to reconsider, Dudairn.
he is as stubborn as he is stupid at that, but they are his eyes nevertheless, and if he will not sell them, I cannot make him sell them.
I see. Well, are we finished business then? Is that it?
It appears so.
There's a loud crumbling noise as the door begins to come back into existence and light begins to fill the room again.
But wait, we still need a scroll.
We do not have the means to acquire one here, Vorak. We will search elsewhere.
Well, what happened to the whole deal of doing some work for him?
I'm not interested in the work. I'm interested in your friend's eyes. And it's clear that he does not intend to sell them. So if you would, please evacuate my shop with haste and be safe out in the city.
I give him a nod.
I have a bad vibe from the way he said that. Do I get any hint at all that he may send someone after my eyes later?
I don't know, make an insight check, please.
Oh my.
$13.
There was a strange tinge of something in his voice. It might have just been irritation or anger. You're not sure if it was necessarily malevolence.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear that he wants you out of his shop, though.
Ivan is fine leaving. Walks out.
Okay. Do the rest of
I
you
will
follow?
Yeah, I'll just like hang back maybe like a second or two, and I'll just kind of like whisper in its direction. If I can change his mind, I'll bring him back.
The
And
eyes seem
I-
to blink at that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting any kind of serious response, but I'll just follow the group out.
As you guys step outside into the light once again, you begin to walk down the steps towards the market area, and as you do, a group of 3 shadowy figures pass you on the way into the shop, as though they've been waiting for the door to reappear.
Shadowy in the same way that the shopkeep was?
Shadowy in that you can't see any of their features from dark hoods that go over their eyes, and they have black capes that hide the rest of their gear.
Hmm.
For all intents and purposes, they might as well be just like physical ghosts.
Also, I just want to point out that was a very hard decision.
I don't know. I still think
Nonsense. You're just
still
a
think
regular
you're making a
God-fearing
mistake.
man. You don't want to bring the wrath of Tilva down on you.
Who cares? That's a lot of gold. They're your eyes. She
From
gave
a
them
man
to
who
you.
follows his god's prophecy to
Yendu
willingly
is-
anger another.
Yendu is not concerned with the matters of anyone else. He is indifferent. His existence is a job of which he fulfilled.
But what would he say if he gave you eyes and you sold them?
He would not. I can guarantee you that. Yendu does not interfere with the lives of mortals or the gods. He simply is, like fate. Things happen because they do.
Oh, Ivan Dudairn, you definitely got the better god.
Hashtag wisdom.
Vorak, you know how... Never mind.
I don't think your god would take offense. He doesn't
No, he would
care
not
what
take
happens in our world, right?
offense. No. He is like the flow of time, unstoppable and ever present.
I'll wink at him.
I shake my head like confused and like I don't know what that means.
I still
But-
don't know what that means. Okay. You guys have stepped back into the crowd here, and there's people moving about, and there are all sorts of different tents and stands here and there, different shops along the way. The city expands out further into the distance. What do you guys want to do?
I look to the group. Should we find a place to stay in the meantime? Or perhaps we can find another shop of sorts.
I'm a bit worried. I don't trust those floating eyes. I think the shorter our stay here is probably the better.
Well, we cannot do what we were sent here to do without a way out.
Well, we should go about finding one then. A
So,
less creepy one
I-
that doesn't involve floating eyes.
So, I say again, should we find a place to stay, like a tavern where we could perchance get information, or do we continue looking for a new shop?
Well, I suppose we could just wander and see what we come across first.
Perhaps.
Illusion, have we seen like street performers about anywhere?
No, though some of the dealings that happen between interesting parties might as well be street performances.
I was thinking that might be a nice way to make some money. But
What kind of performance arts do you have, to Darren?
Is
not a
there
bit.
A stall nearby. We're still near like that,
Cow-
that huge group of market stalls,
Everybody,
right?
come watch Do Darren milk a cow.
He juggles with one arm. Sorry, what was the question, Ivan?
We're still near all of those market stalls, right?
Oh yeah, you're in that main market area. They're all over the
Alright.
place.
Kind of wandering through and browsing. Is there a, familiar humanoid-looking merchant that seems at least mildly friendly?
Oh, perception check, please.
That's a nat one.
Okay. You wander around and look left and right, hoping to find just a down-to-earth human merchant that you can go and speak with. But you find none, unfortunately, and it's incredibly difficult to see much of anything given your smaller stature.
Looking around, is there any race that I recognize? Preferably not a demon nearby.
Preferably not a demon.
Could I do the same, except specifically looking for high elves again?
Sure. Let's see here. Your group wanders around through the area, hoping to find some people, and perception checks from Ben Ultirin, as Ivan has rolled his already.
Alright.
My
Certainly.
great roll.
Your 10 out of 10 roll.
Mm-hmm.
Reroll,
Ah.
please.
Perfect. Thank you, Tabletop Physics, for that one. I really love tabletop. So that's 16, 17, 19.
Now you go looking around hoping to find a shop manned by a high elf, and you unfortunately don't. But what you do find is high elves that seem to be selling off slaves
People. Yeah.
over by the wall. There's a raised up area upon which a couple of rather emaciated looking people are standing in chains, and up at the front a group of high elves seem to be calling out prices to interested parties that make a semicircle around them.
So I'm gonna look to the group. I'm gonna say, I know most of you are going to be very off put by this, but I think one of our best chances at getting some sort of valuable information might be to talk to those high elves over there. We're not buying slaves. I just wish to speak with them, and being one of their kin, I think perhaps I might be able to garner something. Yes? No?
Well, I don't believe we have any other ideas right now. Perhaps we should give it a shot.
Ivan? Dudarin? Okay, I will take that as, at the very least, indifference. And I will begin to walk over, standing kind of closer to the platform, and I just kind of want to wait for them to finish their business and then kind of make a beeline for them.
So you go over there and you're hoping to wait for them to sell their slaves before you talk to them?
Yeah, I'm not looking to buy a slave.
Okay. So you wait for a while as the auction proceeds. A fairly large and strong-looking dragonborn fetches a decent price of a few hundred gold, and a halfling here, who is also kept in chains, fetches considerably less. You wait and wait until eventually the slaves are all to be sold. But before the last one can go, your group, which is standing here off to the side of the semicircle, is approached by what looks to be a fairly scrawny human man in a set of leather armor who comes up to you. He has in his hand some sort of a like stack of paper, and he says, "Hey guys," and he speaks to you in common. And he goes, "Look, if you're looking to get your fortunes read, here's the place to go." And he hands you a small flyer.
I do that thing where like I don't want to touch it really, so I do it with like just 2 fingers. Thank you. You can go now.
He goes, "All right, well, you guys have a good day then." And then he immediately goes to the next person and tries to hand off these flyers. Some of them just take them and like crumple them. Other people just like swat the guy away. Some people take them and actually read them.
Yeah, I read it. I'm at least half interested. I mean, it's the city of Brass. It's gotta be something like
Okay.
maybe kind of cool.
The thing has an address to it, and it says the lower ward of the city of Brass, and it says that there are divination readings by Lady Amicon.
Does that name at all ring a bell?
No, it does not.
Okay, I'm going to fold it, put it in a pocket somewhere.
Okay. So, as you guys wait and wait, do any of you guys do anything with the pamphlet? Mentaltern's not the only one handed one. You guys are all given one as well.
I'll read it, sure.
Okay, so you guys
Or
read
try
them.
Can I
to.
shoo him away as he's handing it to me?
Sure. He goes, "Okay, big guy," and just keeps going.
Vorak was unhappy with the chicken prophecy from before. He's not looking for anything else.
Had enough prophecies for one lifetime. Eventually, the last slave is sold, and the semicircle seems to wander off. The High Elves, having done their business, begin to close up shop. Some of them speak amongst themselves, while others seem to be in the business of counting coin. Somebody folds up a chair over in the corner and puts a stool away, that sort of thing. Now seems like the good time to strike Mentaltern.
Okay, so I'm gonna approach the High Elves, and as I do so, I'm gonna take my mask off beforehand.
One of
As
them
it-
looks
it's-
over and sees you approaching, and as you take your mask off, he goes,
Pleasantly surprised. I'm
Do you say
assuming,
that
at
to him?
least. No.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'll say it in a sort of joking manner. Pleasantly surprised, I take it.
He looks over and he says, "No, not really. The demons pay more than our own kind. What can I do for you, brother?"
Information, perhaps. I'm
Well.
looking for a way off of the Brass City.
A way out.
Yes.
I guess that depends on what you're looking for. We just use the portals. You must be new here.
Indeed.
He motions for you to follow him as he steps over towards the wall here.
Okay. I will follow him.
As you do so, you eventually get towards the edge where you're able to look over and stare into the large expanse of city that goes out below. He points off towards what seems to be another marketplace of sorts, and this one is very much cast in shadow due to all of the large buildings around it, but from up here you can still peer into it, and you can see what look to be active portals down there that emanate different colored lights.
Okay.
He points at one of them and he says, "As long as you have the coin, they can send you more or less anywhere."
About how much?
I'm not at liberty to say. Every price is negotiated.
I'll give him a nod. Well,
So what brings you here then?
oh, well, business of a rather private matter. The person who hired my abilities requested that it remain a certain need-to-know basis.
Brother, please. Look at where you are. There's no need to be so secretive. This isn't like back in the material plane where you have to sell slaves under the cover of shadows.
Wait, real quick, table talk. Cover of shadows. Isn't Arendor like all about that slave trade?
Oh, they love it, but everywhere else it's not allowed, more or less.
Gotcha. Okay, just wanted to. So, never mind. It clicked. It took a second.
It's all good.
Right. There's a target of which my client wishes to be disposed of.
Oh.
He lurks somewhere in this city.
Curious. Well,
Curious.
I suppose you can't share any more. As long as it's not me, everything's fine.
No. I would not take a. Well, no, I wouldn't take a price for one of my own.
I sense a bit of hesitation there.
Well, everybody has their price, I suppose.
Everybody has their price.
Well, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you very much.
He gives you a nod and heads back to the rest of the High Elves.
Okay, I'm gonna walk back over to the group.
Okay.
I'm reading this flyer.
Okay. The flyer tells you that Lady Amicon gives some of the best divinations in all of the city of Brass, and that the costs have also been listed here, though there are special readings for which the numbers are not provided. But just a cursory look into your immediate future doesn't seem to cost too much. 5 gold.
Before Mental Tier comes out, yeah, this is not a bad deal.
I give it for free all the time. And it's usually right.
She
We're
sounds
not
like
there.
a professional, though.
You need the stars, Mental Tier. She can just do it. We can find out how this is about to go.
Savagery.
Perhaps she can see into our future and tell us how we escape the city of Brass. That would save us
Perhaps.
some trouble.
Or perhaps the information I just acquired might be able to direct us.
She
There
would
is
have
a-
predicted that.
Do you want to be stuck here?
Do you
Sorry, I'm
want
just
to
fucking
die?
with you.
I will leave you here. Anyway,
Goodness.
there is a area of the city not too far, where portals exist, of which can be directed for a price.
What kind of price?
All prices are negotiable.
Did you
Vora.
negotiate a price?
No, I found out where the portals were. I didn't go there.
Ah, well, let's go there.
Do they do advanced bookings?
I don't know, Darren. Suppose we can ask.
We may need that.
I think with our time problem, that may not be the best idea.
Well, we just don't sleep, and
We don't know that it's sleep that triggers it.
I don't think it's ever happened when we were awake.
No, but you're drawing a rather large assumption.
Maybe it's happening right now.
Meneltier doesn't want to pay that comment any mind, but that he looks over a little bit wait, is it?
Yeah, I'll look around trying to
See
decipher
if-
if it's happening right
Is time
now.
is time changing?
It's time changing right now. You have no idea, Vorak. People seem to be doing all this stuff like normal.
Well, Melton, what if we find out if they do advanced bookings, and then whenever we are ready to take care of our business, we go and do that first.
I think that might be a good idea.
That way we can just leave.
Well, no use standing around talking about it. Let's go and ask.
Middleton, do these portals require some special thing to use them, or can anyone use them?
How do you mean?
Well, I just mean if perhaps things go awry, are we able to just storm into this place and, jump into a portal?
Probably not. It seems like a place of business. I don't know how they would take to certain things going through their portals.
Well, I'm not really concerned about that. I mean, if we're being chased by a Freets trying to kill us, and we had to burst in, is it possible to just use it with force?
I suppose we could find out, Vorak, but for the love of God, keep your voice down.
What's that?
I feel like I should not have to explain this to you. And then Middle Tier starts walking off in the direction of the portals.
Okay. You guys follow in tow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll follow along.
You begin to leave the area and head towards the street, which will take you down to the lower portion. Is that correct?
Yeah, I as best I can directing us towards where the elf showed us the portal.
So you head over in this direction, and the flow of traffic is very much against you, causing you to kind of move to the side and try and avoid different people here and there, but you start to make your way along. And as you guys are traveling, I'd like all four of you to make a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
Oh,
The janked 20.
stupid business.
That's a 4.
I got a 1.
A 1, okay.
And then it got bumped to a 16. Does that count?
No.
Perception, I had a 6.
6, okay. Alright.
Apparently still in awe of the area.
As you wander along, there's all sorts of different sounds and people calling left and right. And for a brief moment, you think that you hear somebody trying to beckon you. And as you look over in the distance towards the direction of the sound, you guys see nobody really making eye contact with you. Are you guys going to go over there and investigate, or just kind of blow it off and keep going?
I didn't hear this sound at all, so.
Yeah, with that beautiful, beautiful roll.
Mhm.
Man, what, me and Borok both heard it?
If I look down, it makes the only person we've talked to is a gnome. Is it a gnome beckoning us?
As you look down, no, you don't see a gnome there.
Is there like an alleyway near us that...
Ah. Looking around, yes, there is an alleyway close to the point where the sound came from. Perhaps it was from in there.
I will stop the group.
Okay.
What's going on?
Brock, did you both hear that?
Hear what?
The voice.
Yes,
What
it
voice?
sounded like somebody was calling us.
I think it's down the alley.
And you want to go towards it?
Not all the way towards it. Not until we
Just-
know what it's
just-
for.
Flirt with danger, I see.
Meneltiern, where are we?
The city of Brass.
And where is that?
I lean in real close. Who rules it and who wants to kill me?
Valid point.
Then I step into the alley.
Yeah, I see his point and I follow suit.
Okay. You go stepping off into the alleyway, which I'm going to draw in over here in the corner.
Just a few steps in. I don't want to get like trapped.
Okay.
I'm still kind of spooked by the ghost guy. Shadow.
Well, you shouldn't be spooked. You knew it was an illusion.
I saw it was an illusion. I didn't see where he was.
He's probably like a scrawny ass wizard in like the back room. He's a nerd.
Yeah, we've all seen the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I don't know. The scrawny ass wizards we fought in the ruins were.
Yeah,
pretty
you know,
tough.
that's true.
I'm full of good points today.
Right?
The alleyway is rather thin, and you're barely able to really get in there, Dudarin. Take a couple of steps inside, and as you do, you see that the thing branches off, one towards the side on the left here, from which you can hear what sounds like some sort of noise. I'd like you to roll perception a second time. There's no sound from down here. Ah.
11.
You're able to recognize the sound. It's the telltale noise of gambling. There are coins, dice, and cards which can be heard from down here, though you can't quite see what's going on because you've only taken a few steps in. What do you want to do?
Our get rich scheme. Perfect.
I will step further and look down the. Just like peek around the wall.
As you look
down
down,
the
you see
corridor.
that the alleyway once again takes a turn and heads off in this direction.
Just, kind of quietly. Hello?
Okay. Your voice echoes out, but there's no response, though it's clear that there are people playing as somebody suddenly shouts, and in common you hear, "Well, that's bullshit, and you know it." And a bunch of people laugh in response.
I will turn back to you. I think I found some gamblers.
Oh. Well, I think we have more important things to take care of.
We could use the money.
Are you serious?
It couldn't
You-
hurt.
You understand that in the event that we lose all this money, the only thing of value we will continue to have is your eyes.
That's why we don't lose. One quick game. One quick
back.
game.
You
Not-
you came back just in time to watch Dudarin gamble away all of our money
Perfect.
and possibly our souls.
Hey, you know what? We haven't rolled a nat 20 so far, so
It's
counting
around
on
the corner.
that. Alright, we rolled a couple of nat 1s to even it out.
Just one quick game, Malatier. Nothing, like no more than a few silver.
I cannot control what you do with your own money.
Besides, that
Though
voice.
do not expect me to give you any.
Besides, that voice. That voice sounded like it was beckoning us.
Well, onward, I suppose.
Do I not hear the voice at all anywhere? Just gone.
With your perception check, you think that you hear the voice as one of the people gambling further down the alleyway. It sounded like the tone to the voice that had beckoned you is also one of the tones of the people laughing right now.
Well, it's not a.
So we've decided to go to a gambling den for money?
This is what Dudarin seems to think is best.
In all honesty, it's our safest option.
A little
I
bit.
mean, I guess if things go well, we have money with little loss.
We'll see. I'll beckon the party to follow me if they will. We'll start heading down.
Dudarin turns a corner and starts to go down a thin alleyway. You guys going with him?
Do I fit?
Yeah.
You do fit,
Oh.
though not comfortably.
I'll go last then.
Okay.
'Cause it'll take me a little while to get through this.
I don't know if I explicitly said it, but I'll put my mask back on, and hood up.
Okay.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead
I'll
and
follow
arrange
him.
yourselves in here as you wish to be.
God damn it! If Vorok's going last, I'll be behind Ivan.
Okay. You're traveling down the alleyway here.
This can only end well because it's totally not like an illusion or something.
So if I put my hands on the walls, are they solid?
Yes, they are.
Not that kind of illusion.
While you're wandering along, suddenly you hear something that comes from up above. Darren, I need to know, does a...
Yep.
That's actually not a very good roll, come to think of it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Darren, does a 15 hit you?
No, it does not.
Oh my god. For realsies?
I got that chainmail,
We're
bro.
not getting TPK'd?
Bruh.
Oh my god.
Bruh.
Bruh.
You hear the sound
Yeah,
of
my-
something that comes from the top of the building nearby. There's something up there, a bit of movement, and a crossbow bolt flies down and narrowly misses you. You can feel the rush of air past your neck as the bolt misses and clatters into the wall here. You see for a brief moment what looks like a shadowy figure up there, which quickly disappears running across the building top. What do you guys want to do?
I just shout, I knew it! Run!
You did not know it.
Not this, but that!
Are you headed back out the alleyway?
Yeah. I look at Vorlok and I say, go.
Do you go?
I'll go like as quickly as I can.
Okay. You quickly shuffle out of here, and Minotaur
Good.
follows, and Ivan gets out as well. And Darren, you finally make it safely back outside of the alleyway, all of you panting as you run out as fast as you possibly can.
Okay, well,
I suggest we continue moving.
yes.
I doubt they will attack us in the crowd. Moving back into the thick of it, attempt to make our way back to where we were heading. The entire time looking at the rooftops of the buildings now
Oh, okay.
for crossbow assassins.
As we walk, I knew he was going to try something like this.
Who?
Eyeball Man.
You really think it's Eyeball Man?
We did see shadow guys going into the store after we left.
If Eyeball Man really wanted your eyes, it would have been much. Maybe it wouldn't have been easier. It could be Eyeball Man. I doubt it though.
Okay, it could be Eyeball Guy.
You just can't argue with you, Darren, today. I'm on a roll.
I mean, I
Could
can't.
also be just a random person who wants to loot our bodies.
Right. There are many people who probably would kill anybody in this city for, I don't know, profit, change, anything.
When they beckoned us over, like, did they say names or just say like, "Hey, you, come here"?
It was more like a hey you, and it seemed like it was coming towards your group.
Okay.
You guys step back out into the, possible safety of the crowd once again.
Mm-hmm.
And here, are you going to continue on your merry way, hoping to get to the portals?
Continuing on our merry way, being very cautious, looking around.
I'm gonna, like, everyone that I would deem suspicious, I'm like looking and seeing if they are
So
the guy.
everybody?
Okay.
More so. People that don't look suspicious is who I'm suspicious of.
A six-eyed demon creature, you're like, no, that's fine. Like some dude walks by, like, oh my god, look at that one.
Like a dude in just like a t-shirt and jeans. Like, who
Yeah.
the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, he's gonna kill us. The guy in the Metallica t-shirt, I don't trust that.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, so the group is fairly on guard here, and you're gonna keep going, headed off towards the stairs, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you continue going down the streets, you manage to eventually make it to the top of the stairs here. When you do, you can see that they extend down for quite a ways before turning to a winding street that makes its way over into the darker part of town, and eventually over towards the portals. Are you guys headed down this street?
Cautiously.
yes?
Yeah, just following wherever Minotaur's leading us.
I'd like a perception check from everybody, please.
Hey.
Heyo.
Net
Ah.
one.
Wow.
Uh,
5.
19.
Out of 7.
Okay. Nobody
Remember,
really
he's got his
notices anything.
paranoid ears on. or
You're all
eyes.
quite on guard, but you're not assailed or anything.
The 19 doesn't get us anything?
But as you're getting into the darker part of town, Menotir, and as you're looking at the different
Okay.
roofs, you think that you
Mhm.
see a couple of people spying your group. And more
Mm.
than once, you notice somebody who seems to be watching you, either from
Mhm.
a building window or from a roof itself, before quickly disappearing.
Give me a second. What do I have? Any spells that would be useful? How many people did you say I see?
You've seen probably about 3 different people watching you from different areas over the last few minutes of travel.
Okay. This is not great, and I don't think I can disguise self everybody, so that's unfortunate. Man, I really need that what is it, seeming? That would be really nice right about now.
It's a good spell. It's a good spell.
Mm-hmm. I think that's like level 4 or something though.
Jeez. You could buy one, if only you sold those eyes.
Right? Look, I'm not counting it out yet. We're gonna like lose all our money and be like, hey, you've still got those eyes. Seeming 5th level, damn. I'm just gonna look to the group and I'm gonna say they are still following us. I think we should try and lose them, but I don't exactly have any idea.
What does the group want to do?
It's not like we can split up. We will most certainly get lost.
Well, at least one of us will get killed, I imagine.
Well, I think we should see where these portals are. The longer we stay in here, the more danger I feel that we're in.
Right, but do we want them to know where we're going?
Well, they've already managed to find us here. I'd say we probably don't have much cover in this city.
What do you think, Darren?
What portals we're heading towards?
Like the portal area? Like the
Okay.
portal shopping center.
Alright.
Portals are us.
You're talking here, and as you do, a robed man approaches your group.
Mm-hmm.
They have a hunch to them, and stand roughly about 5 feet tall. From underneath the dark hood, somebody speaks out to you in common and says, "Seems like he got a bit of a problem trying to move through the city. Be able to
How
help
exactly
with
could you? Yeah, exactly. How could you do that, old man?
that. On my ways. Question is, do you
Nemes-
have the coin?
How much coin?
I can get you away from these prying eyes for 20 gold.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
I don't trust him either.
He's gonna
Look
get
at
us away
him all
from these
hunched
prying
over.
eyes, right into some prying swords.
He
That's
pulls
what he's
back
gonna
his
do.
hood to reveal that he is a tabaxi of some sort. A catman who kind of looks around left and right and turns back towards you and says, "Well, the longer we stay here, the difficult it's going to be, or it's going to cost you."
I say we take it.
Yeah, why don't you take it?
Can I insight him?
Sure, please do.
I also don't like the way he said that last part. Yeah.
Yeah, may I as well?
Please do. Oh no! Oh, okay.
Ah,
Okay.
thank the Lord. I think that's an 8 or 19. No,
Also
that's
19.
that's a modded 20.
Both of you can tell that this is an incredibly shady character. It's plain to see, and you also get the feeling that he has ulterior motives. That being said, you don't feel that he intends to kill you.
Hmm. What else do
He
you want
doesn't
out of
intend to
this
kill
deal?
us. Someone else might.
It doesn't seem like he means you any harm, I guess is how I
Right.
should rephrase that.
Okay.
What else do you want out of this deal, Tabaxi?
Just some money.
Hmm. And why do I find that hard to believe?
Because you're new here and you're dumb.
I'll just it's like, fine, half now, half when we're safe.
Only got one arm, but he's pretty wise. 10 gold.
Hand him 10 gold.
Alright, follow me, you fucks. And he turns around and quickly starts to go throughout the crowd.
I look at you, Darren, like reaching for my axe, like, hmm?
I
Not yet.
I-
Not yet, Boro. Down,
Come
Boro.
on!
Slowly puts it back.
Running after this backseat.
Okay. You follow him, and he quickly darts into an alleyway here. And when you think that you've lost him, he pokes his head around the corner and then beckons for you to follow faster.
Max speed.
Okay.
Yep.
Is everybody going?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys run along, he takes you up to what seems to be a dead end, a brick wall. As he gets there, he looks up to the top of the roofs here. He doesn't see anything, and if you guys follow his eyes as well and look up, you don't see anybody there either. He quickly places his hand on a part of the brick here, and then pushes a spot, and you hear what sounds like a bunch of bricks sliding on one another. Stone scraping against stone, and there's a small little opening that appears in front of you. It's like 2 feet off the ground and then 2 feet wide. He goes, alright, get in there.
Okay.
I shuffle
I'm a-
Minotaur through.
Okay.
I'll go through first, I suppose.
Right.
You're the
you guys-
skinniest.
You guys
That's
begin
true.
to shuffle through, and things are going fine until eventually Vorok comes up to the area, and the Catman looks at you for a second and says, "Oh, we're gonna have to do something different about you. All right, you follow me."
What?
Oh boy.
I-
Do any of us see this happening?
The last person to go in, so you guys can choose who that would be.
I'm assuming
probably be
myself
me.
and Ivan would have gone in first, being the skinniest and smallest.
Okay, so Darren, you're about to shovel yourself through here when you realize that the problem of getting Vorok through this passageway has come up, and the escort you have intends to take him elsewhere.
I will call into the opening. It's like, we have to go a different way.
What?
Man
Meet us at the
replies, though, and he says, No, just keep going through the tunnel, it'll be fine. I've got another place.
It's like, meet us at the portals. And I'm going with you.
Meneltiern will give him a nod. He'll look to Ivan.
Ivan sighs and continues onward.
Okay.
Okay.
Meneltiern gives a confirming nod and just keeps on trucking.
I'll
Okay.
turn back to next. Let's go.
Don't
Right.
you know? You never split the party.
Quickly, the man leads the two of you back down the same alley you've gone to. He pokes his head, looks left, looks right, stares up, stares down, and then motions for you to follow him as he takes a left into the alleyways going deeper. The two of you who are traveling through the tunnel, you eventually have to pause as you get up to an area where you're blocked. There's a grate in front of you, Meneltiern. What do you want to do?
Is the grate movable?
Ah. As you press your hand on it, it budges a little bit, though it seems it's going to need more force than just a mild nudge.
Are there any like how he pushed a brick before to open up the main entrance? Is there anything on the side like of this tunnel?
Investigation check.
Certainly. Let's go. What do I have on this? Like a plus? I think it's like a +5. So that's 18.
You
Plus
find
four.
what looks like a rusty latch up in the top right corner here.
Open the latch.
Okay, so you flick that, and then as you push again, the thing moves quite easily and swings on a pair of side hinges and opens up. As you crawl through, you find yourself in a small storage room. It's like a closet of sorts, and it has in it absolutely nothing. There's like a broken broom in the corner and a pole that goes across the back end wall on which a bunch of coat hangers can be seen, and that's it. There's a
So we're
door
like
as
in a-
well that goes elsewhere.
We're in a closet.
You're in a closet.
Can I
Ivan starts to shuffle out of the tunnel as well into here.
right, ear up against the door?
Okay. You place your ear up against the door and hope to hear something from the other side. We'll cut to the other two right now.
Well, hope to hear or hope to hear nothing.
Or maybe hear nothing, yeah, exactly. The two of you are running along, and the man turns to you and says, "So, why is everyone trying to kill you today, guys?"
Well, that's a good question. I'm not too sure.
People are always trying to kill us. Well, me, anyway.
I'd like both of you to make deception. Well, actually, Vorok, you don't have to. I'd like you to make a deception check, please, Dudare.
They are!
Is that a lie?
I'll let you make it with advantage, seeing as how it's a half truth, because you actually do know why it is that somebody might be after you. Oh no. Oh, okay. All right.
What was it? Deception?
Mhm.
17 then.
Okay. As you're running along, he says, well, whatever. Must make for an exciting life. Here, down here. Quickly, he runs down another alleyway, and eventually you guys end up at a door. Once again, before placing his hand onto the handle, he stares up at the top of the rooms, and seeing nothing there, quickly messes around with the handle, turning it in a way that seems counterintuitive to how handles normally work, but sure enough, there's a satisfying click as the door flies open, and he motions for you all to get inside.
We'll do so.
Okay. You step inside and start to go through a hallway in a building. You can see a couple of other tabaxi here who are playing cards at a table. They look over and see you as you run past, and this man quickly leads you over, and then gets to another door and motions for you to go into this one as well.
Sure.
I'll say hello to the tabaxi as we go by, but then I'll go into this next room.
Okay.
Hello.
Some of them nod to you. There's a couple playing cards that give you a wave as you run by. You're all quickly shuffled into a room, and inside that room, you find the rest of your companions. Meneltirn, as you place your ear up onto the door, all you hear is a bunch of rushing footsteps, and the door flies open, and Vorok comes through along with Dudarin and this tabaxi. You're now all stuffed into a very small closet-like room, and the tabaxi quickly goes to get the grate, which is already flipped open, and to close it.
Well, hello.
Hey, sorry, it's a little tight in here. There we go. All right. So, about that other 10 gold.
I looked at Jaren. I think this is more than sufficient.
Yeah. I'll hand him the other 10 gold.
Okay. He takes the other 10. He goes, "Thank you very much. If you have need of my services, I would be happy to offer you some more."
Perhaps in the future. At the
Are
moment,
aware that there's a few people looking out for you right now, right?
I'm very aware that there are a few people looking for us.
Now, if you had to get somewhere else in the city safely, I could maybe do that for you.
Hmm.
Same arrangement as before, half up front, half at the end.
Perhaps.
Well, I mean, this is as good a place as any. The tabaxi looks left and right within the small, cramped storage closet you guys are all standing in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I looked at Judare and I say, well, where to next? We were intended to portray or procure travel in the Portal District.
Trying to get out of here, I see.
Not quite yet. We have unfinished business.
You need to get there, I can do that. It's a bit of travel here. What do you say? 50 in total. 25 now, 25 when I get you there.
Seems rather steep.
I don't see how we're going to pay for our exit if we waste money traveling around the city.
It's not a waste, you know. You're getting to the portals with your lives. Think of it as an investment. Personal health.
Judaren.
He seems confident in his ability to lose people. I think we have at least enough of a time that we can get to where we need to be by ourselves relatively safely.
You say so.
I'm gonna say this as quietly as Vorok possibly can to the group. Can we perhaps use these secret pathways to bring a dead body through the city unnoticed?
We're in a closet, so I'm not sure if it matters how quietly you say it around a cat person.
Real quick, while
I've never
I
met a
ch-
cat person,
I
so
chuck the
True.
tabaxi another gold and say, "You never saw or heard us."
Takes the gold and he says, "Oh man," and kind of takes a finger and like scratches at his ear, like, oh, "I got a little piece of fluff in there. Thanks. I'll have to get these checked out later." Anyway, I guess
I
I'll.
don't know why you're worried, Dudarin. This little cat man is not above board. Most of this city isn't. I feel like our business is probably better than most of what's going on in this city.
That's
That
why
depends
we
on
keep
your
it.
business, guy.
I
It
look to
involves a dead body.
So
He looks
looking
at the rest
Bernie's
of you.
situation. I look to Dudarin. Dudarin, how much shall we discuss further with this tabaxi? We have been looking for information for some time on how to complete our task.
He says, "Well, I do offer other services."
Services, probably not. Information, perhaps.
It's
For
one of my
information
services.
and your discretion,
As discreet as they come.
there will be coin in it for you.
Like I said, I don't. Seems like a good as place as any. Whoever's outside looking for you, I guarantee you they don't know that you're in here.
Indeed.
Magically shielded closet. Let's talk business.
Should we go all out with it?
I'm okay with that. Ivan?
This is like the worst situation for a cleric.
Right? But
I'm just staring at a spot on the wall of the closet.
he's like, this isn't happening. This isn't happening.
A bunch
Okay,
of
I will
morally
take that
ambiguous
again.
people talk about
as-
murder and other things.
I will take that as, at the very most, indifference. Very well. We have a target that needs taking care of.
Alright,
We need to do it discreetly, and we need to get the body out of the city.
see. Me and the
And
boys
for
don't do
reference-
any of the killing ourselves, but we might be able to help with some of that.
Mm,
You need names? What are you looking for?
And for reference, the people chasing us should not be tied to that.
no, they're
Yes, it's
likely,
unrelated.
which is kind of odd to say, but probably.
I know, right?
Know why they're after you? Might help to evade them.
Yes, although that's
If we're-
rather, again, not very much related. They want something we have.
I'll be frank with you. If you give me
I-
your name,
Vorok and Dudarin, what's your name?
He says, look, just call me Whiskers. That's fine for now.
fine Whiskers.
You can't have a serious conversation and keep calling him Whiskers.
What about like Scruffles?
In his magically shielded closet.
I'm in possession of God's eyes, and they very much my eyes.
What about him?
They are that of a celestial being.
He looks at the rest of you guys and gives you like a "is this guy crazy" kind of look.
I'm about to like shake my head, and then I actually look at Dudarin. By the way, is this room magically shielded, Dudarin? Because he
Yeah.
can see shit like that, right?
As you look around, you don't see anything magical about the room.
I can see through illusions and through invisibility.
Okay, gotcha. Oh wait, that's not how your eyes work, is it? Never mind. He's not crazy.
If he looks at me, I wink at him.
Yeah, he gives you a
Neverthe-
weird look and turns back to the rest of the group.
Nevertheless,
So someone's
Some-
after your eyes.
yes, they wanted to purchase them, and when I said no, they didn't take kindly to that.
Weirdo. Yeah,
Well,
it takes a few days
that's-
to get used to this kind of place. Had a guy try to buy my tail when I first came here.
I look at his tail. Is there anything special about it?
Nope,
Like
seems
made of
like a
gold or
normal
something?
tail. When you look at it, he picks up on this though, and he says, "Wanted it as an ornament. Offered me 7
Ah.
silver. Turned him down."
No.
I think that tail is
What?
worth much more than 7 silver.
Thank you. I'd like you to roll a persuasion check, please, there, Brock.
You just made that guy's day.
Gain plus 1 favor.
Oh.
3.
Okay, alright. He turns back to you and says, "Okay, well, so somebody's after you. You're looking to kill somebody. Like I said, I can maybe make traveling through the city a little bit easier. My network doesn't go all the way across this place, but I've got a few pockets where me and my boys are
Well,
able to move
the,
you around silently."
the size of the body will be somewhat of an issue.
What do you mean?
And then
Looking to
I-
kill a
Why are
giant?
we still being secretive? If he's
I-
helping us and he knows we're here, we need to kill an Efreet noble.
I was trying... Boric, I was trying
He's gonna
to...
see it anyways when we bring it back. Come on now.
I was trying to build up to that.
He tilts his head back and he goes, "Whew. Oh boy. Well, okay, go on."
That's really it. We need to kill an Efreet noble and get his body out of the city and back to our employer.
The Catman
Doesn't
turns
matter-
like he wants to pace around in the room, but there's no space for him to really do so, so he just kind of stops and just taps at his chin, thinking.
It's unimportant which noble it is. They just have to be noble.
Okay. Damn. That's a tall order, guy. So you're already being hunted, and you need to kill Free Noble.
Oh, I probably shouldn't be telling you this part, but the Red Queen also wants me dead. That hasn't seemed to be an issue yet so far, though. I don't think she knows I'm here.
I think the gods are rather busy right now fighting whatever war they are.
Yes, so that should not be a problem. Just laying the full plate in front of you.
Yes, I appreciate it. Okay. So here's how I see it. I've got a crew of 5 people, including myself, and we've got some extended family in here. But if we do this job, we're gonna need to get out of here. So this better have enough coin in it so that I can retire afterwards. You hear me?
Middleton, do you think the Azure would also offer them protection for helping us?
Yes, but
The hell are
I
the Azure?
don't worry because I don't think you're rather interested in it that I feel like they want to stay here and not have to flee the city afterwards.
I
No,
understand
this city's
that.
terrible. I'm sure they want to leave.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
I could go either way. Like I said,
Well-
if you can get me enough money that I can retire, I'll take that deal.
You will be rewarded.
Naturally, there is Valu as well, where we can offer them safe harbor.
I want to go back to my home. I want to see the sands and the deserts.
Well, there is an eternal winter plaguing the material plane right now, so I have a feeling
I have heard a lot of talk about that. Is it really as
Yeah.
cold as they say?
Yes.
absolutely.
No, not at all.
Have you been to the deserts? Is it cold over in Silcha?
We have not been in that direction.
There's no way it's cold over.
Could
I
be
don't
temperate.
know. It's been the last we were in the material plane. It was. Give me 1 second to look at my notes. It was the 3rd of summer, and there was snow on the ground.
Well, we'll have to include money in there for a coat or something. But
Tell you what, you help us. Along with gold, we will ensure you see your home again.
okay. How much gold do you have?
That's, I think,
We're-
rather unimportant. Once we
We're
No, it's very important. How am I
once we
supposed to
kill
retire
an-
if you don't have the coin?
we are
once
packing
ki-
light.
Once we kill the Afreet noble, something tells me we will come into quite a fortune.
What, you got like premonitions or something? I want to see real coin.
Well, you're welcome to any of his stuff as well. I'm sure that will fetch a pretty penny.
See, now this is turning into a home robbery, and I don't know about that. It's gonna take a lot of time.
Oh, what,
already-
did you suddenly get a moral code?
No, I just want... Then I have to sell everything. I just want easy coin. I want to get in, I want to get my money, I want to take my family and get out, and that's it. Okay, if you guys want help, I will do what I can. But not if at the end of the tunnel there isn't retirement for me and my friends. Okay?
Well.
You said this could be anybody, right?
Indeed.
Alright. Now,
There
let's
is next
say-
to no risk in it for you.
Let's say maybe I know a noble who's got a lot of free cash hanging around in his palace. You willing to go for one that I choose?
How well
I-
guarded is his palace?
That would be my question as well.
Can look into that. It's probably got a barracks of maybe 50 to 80 salamanders on the estate. But we're not gonna go fight all of them, are we? You guys aren't planning to fight all of them. I thought it was
No.
more like a sneaky kind of thing, right?
That's the idea.
Okay.
No, we just want to get in and out with a corpse. That's all.
Exactly.
We'll have to do it fast. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. You tell me if this plan seems good or not. Get some money. Go and get a scroll of teleportation that'll take me and my buddies back to Sildshaw. Okay? Go in, we'll break you in, we'll grab all the money, and then we'll split it however you want, right there on the spot, and then teleport right out. You guys get what you want, I get what I want, everything works out fine.
So. Okay.
Whiskers, may we do a group huddle for a moment?
What do you mean?
We're in a closet.
Oh, you mean you want me to get out of the...
Just for a moment. We
Okay, yeah. I'll
there-
just knock when you want me to come back in, okay?
thank you so much, Whiskers.
He tries to give you a bow, but there's like no space for anybody to really move in here, and he just kind of like nudges his way over to the door and makes his way past.
Ivan,
Ivan's in catatonic despair, staring at the same spot on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
in order to see us have the best chance of getting out of here, and I don't want to do this either, but I'm willing to give up one of my eyes. In order to make this go properly.
An alternative suggestion. Seems like Whiskers has access to teleportation scrolls in some way. Could suggest to him that he also acquire one for Valoo or somewhere near Valoo. we agree to split whatever loot in the palace, 25-75 in his favor.
That seems a little steep. Maybe we could do like a 60-40 or a 55-45.
We're here for a dead
can do the
body, not
math.
money.
But if he can
Well,
acquire a teleportation scroll,
money
and
would
we can
be
just
nice.
leave the palace of this Ifrit via teleportation scroll rather than having to drag it around the city, I feel
That
like
would be
that's a better
preferable.
Can we find a noble that has a scroll of teleportation among the things?
Well, we need the scrolls to go where we want them to. And just finding a random scroll won't guarantee that, Warlock.
On a side note, Lucian, where did Whiskers say his family is going?
They want to go back to
Silkshaw.
Silkshaw, which is the desert continent way off in the east. You can see it on the
Okay.
map there, actually. It's this continent over here. This is where he wants to go.
Okay, so he wants to go somewhere over here. We're over here.
You guys want to go over here, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a fun area to transverse.
Well, wait, if we get both scrolls, and we all go through the one to Sildshaw, and then use ours to go back to Valoo, then we don't have to traverse anywhere.
That seems.
Say it again?
Yeah. Huh?
What?
If we obtain both a scroll to Valoo and Sildshaw,
Why would we go to Silcha and not just right to Valut?
so
So Whiskers is getting a scroll to Sildshaw for him and his family. I'm suggesting we also ask him to get a scroll to Valoo, and
Oh, I
both us and him leave the Ifrit house at the same time via teleportation scroll.
okay, I misheard you then. So yeah, that's
I mean,
Um,
alternatively, we could hitch a ride on his teleportation scroll and all go to Sildshaw and then trek it back to Valoo, but that doesn't look very fun.
I don't know, do we want to even go back to Valoo? Like, just show up randomly in the middle of town holding a dead fire
I mean, if he
genie,
can,
being
if he can get a scroll
"Uh,
for somewhere else to play the fire near the Azure, that would be preferable. But like, how do we even describe to him where we want to go?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't the Azure City, I guess.
Like the closest teleportation scroll that they thought they could give us was like a group of wizards on a
Yeah,
lake
but we
of
have no
fire.
idea where that is relative in the plane of fire. Like, how big is Lake of
Exactly.
Fire? We have no idea.
So,
That's
like
true.
about this big or something.
And you guys
this
get to
big.
another world, and it's just like, I don't know the frame of reference for anything.
Yeah. Like, if he can get us a scroll somewhere close to Valoo or the Azure, good.
Mhm.
Otherwise, like, fucking drag the body of an Ifrit noble 1,000 miles across Sildshaw to Skyfall and then go back through the portal to bring it to the Azure.
And by that time, the body's probably gonna be all gross and
Oh, yeah, what terrible probably smell.
don't want to deal with that shit.
I mean that I think that's definitely like our best plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, at this point, will like the people of Valoo even care if we just came through the like city dragging a body of an Ifrit? Like,
Probably
have they not seen more shit at this point?
And the people that are left probably,
People that are left are like, all right, we've expected this shit. We stayed because it's warm. It's all we care about.
yeah.
They've been through
Right.
some other crazy shit. This is true.
I think it's our best bet if we can ask him to acquire a scroll and like agree that he can get whatever percentage of the loot.
I'm willing to give him like a
60.
70-30
most.
his favor.
Whoa! God, you guys just want to like throw away all this money.
I mean, you can say like Meneltier, you can do the negotiations.
The point
He
is,
doesn't really care.
Milton, we want him to get the scrolls because we can't afford them.
That's a rather good point, I suppose. Put us at rather in a disadvantage.
I mean, look at what we're getting out of this whole endeavor, though. We get a giant ballista and a pact with the Azure.
Forever. Yes, yes, yes.
That means walls. That means walls for Valoo and
Mm-hmm.
a fighting chance in the world.
Although having money to, say, jumpstart, something in the city wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing either. I wonder how many people are left in Skyfall.
And this is also an Efreet noble. How much, like, even if we divided it like
we can
80
say that
20,
75-20. If we can only carry a small percentage of it in our arms anyway, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, like it may be so much that it doesn't, like, even dividing it, we still come out with like thousands of gold.
Indeed. Although I think we should keep note that Whiskers, as it were, is likely going to leave as soon as he possibly can, and once he gets the gold in his arms, I do not think he will care what happens to us.
As long as we have the scroll to get out, it doesn't matter.
As long as we have the scroll, who cares?
Fine by me.
Is everyone good on this?
Vorok, do you understand?
I care not of your looting and splitting the money of the noble. I just want to get this body and leave this cursed town.
Vorok, you
City.
wanna hit the Efreet real good?
I feel like this is getting more and more complicated as it goes along, and I worry that, well, things could go very badly here.
Brooke, you just hit things with your axe, and we'll worry about all the other complicated things.
I miss my garden.
You'll see it soon, buddy. I promise. And I go knock, knock, knock on the door.
The door opens back up, and squeezing into this small room, Whiskers reappears. Says, well, you guys talked about it?
Indeed.
What do you think?
If you are able to procure 2 teleportation scrolls before we enter the Efreet's palace, 1, we will let you pick whichever Efreet you want, and 2, we are willing to give you a larger percentage of the gold right off the bat.
Okay, well, here's the problem with that. 1, if you have the scroll, you might just dip out and leave at any moment. 2, not to say you're distrustful or anything, there's a bunch of people that are here to kill a noble.
I
but-
mean, to be fair, we thought perhaps the same thing of you. Once you get your gold, there's no reason for you to stay.
Right. Here's the other thing. I don't necessarily have enough money to get those scrolls. I'm not really a wealthy man. You know, I put bread on the table, but you're talking hundreds of
So-
gold here in scrolls.
So, what exactly were you hoping?
Well, I mean, you were the ones doing the paying for me. I was hoping, you know, I'd be providing services for gold, you know? Oh, no. No. You're broke, aren't you? You don't have any gold, do you?
I have 4 gold, thank you very much.
Oh, no! Whiskers puts his face in his hands.
This
It's
is
not that-
salvageable.
It's not that we're broke.
He has
so to
4 gold!
speak. He doesn't have the most gold in the party, obviously.
You understand a specific scroll is gonna be like hundreds each? And you're looking for
Yeah,
2 of them?
We're
We know.
aware how much they cost. They're about 350 gold.
How are you gonna get that? I don't have anything close to that.
Neither do we, Whiskers.
I look at Ivan.
What does the
Ivan's
dwarf
found this
have?
really interesting knot on the door.
We
I understand your
There's-
friend's despair all of a sudden.
there's one way for us to get the gold.
Meneltier lights
Okay,
up.
well, what's that?
Please. They're worth
both-
so much.
But
What is
both
it?
I and Ivan are not exactly happy with the choice.
Oh, but what do you even need them for? You barely use them.
Oh, the eyes. Yeah, I mean, we could help you move around. I can have one of my family members sort of lead you when we're trying to sneak around. It'd be like having a blindfold on.
I'm sorry?
Well, you're talking about selling his eyes, right?
No, we
right,
had
but
discussed
he
it.
would get a replacement.
Oh, well, that's much better than what I was thinking.
Oh my god.
It's fine. Fine, this will work. It's fine.
We already know who wishes to purchase them. We would just need to get to his shop.
Let's see. Every big deal starts with a little favor or something. Where's the shop?
Ye old magic shop.
Is that the, That's up the wall, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
the shoppy.
Are you...
They're silent.
Okay, I can get you to the stairs, but once we're going up there, are you badly wanted enough that we're gonna get, like, shot going up the stairs in broad daylight?
I do not know how to answer that question because I don't actually know.
At this point, it seems like our only option.
Okay, here, tell you what.
Additionally, I do not think that they are willing to fire at us when we're in the crowds. It seems more like they're watching where we're going.
Okay. I can get you to the shop for the price of 10 gold, just in case something goes wrong.
I'll be honest, I think we could get to the shop by ourselves rather easily.
Okay.
At that point, I don't think it matters if they see us. If we make it back there, I think he'd be more happy that we return to sell the eyes.
I.
Fine.
Unless it is
Okay.
the only way to do it, I'm not getting rid of both.
Look, I'll have my guys look for you in the city. You get up there, do whatever you gotta do, get the money for the scrolls, whatever crazy stuff. When you get back into this neighborhood, one of us will find you right away and we'll do the rest of it. How's that?
Sounds reasonable.
I stick my hand forward.
He extends a hand, but right before he shakes, he goes, "You know this is crazy, right?"
My whole life is crazy. I was a cow farmer.
I'm getting my house on the beach. You understand that, right?
I
And
know.
you understand that the beach is covered in snow, right?
That remains to be proven.
It is.
Alright, let's shake on it. And he goes to shake your hand, Dudarin.
I return it.
He gives you
There's
a
a lot of
nod.
handshaking in this game.
It turns out he's a demon, and we've just signed a contract. Or a devil, rather. My apologies.
He says, "Okay,
Look at
I'm
me.
gonna go speak with my family. We'll get everything ready. You guys get out of here. Go back out the same door that you two came in through, and everything hopefully will work out fine. We'll be waiting."
Oh, we'll see you later, Whiskers.
He nods and opens the door, and steps out and motions for you all to head down the hall.
Oh, as we're leaving, I say, "Oh, Whiskers.
Yeah?
Just so you know, in the event that we, say, disappear for possibly a week or two, it's very uncertain. Just know that we didn't leave or ditch you or anything of that sort of nature, but rather it's something else that is far too complicated to explain."
But you're still coming back after that week, right?
No, yes,
Exactly.
we have to do this.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's a few more days in paradise, right?
I chuckle and then leave.
Okay. With that, the rest of you escape, and you leave through the hallway here and pass the door into the alleyways. And are you guys gonna make the mad dash back to Ye Old Magic Shop?
Not really a mad dash. I mean, Meneltern isn't going to be mad dashing. He's going to be looking to stay like in heavily obscured crowds, making like good time, like not going slowly. But like at this point, he feels like the people who are after us, they're going to be they're not going to fire on us in broad daylight.
Okay.
Or at
Knowing
least
what
that's what it seems.
knowing what we're doing, I walk confidently, not trying to hide myself.
Okay.
Meneltern never walks like trying to make himself be known. So
Alright. Let's see here.
after years of almost being murdered in Skyfall.
You guys
months,
travel
rather.
through the alleyways and eventually make your way back to the busy streets. Heading over towards the steps, you travel up there and get back up into the upper area here.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, make it through the crowds and get into here with no problem. Don't know if you're still being watched, but there's no crossbow shots that fly out into the crowd, and you've successfully made it back into the market. Across the way, Ye Old Magic Shop rests there near one of the corners of the street. You guys headed over?
Yep.
Okay.
Is the door closed at this moment?
Ah. No, there is a normal wooden door there waiting
Okay.
for you. As the group steps up, you make your way past the door and into the shop. It's exactly as you remember it, but upon stepping through, the door closes, and the eyes stare over in your direction.
Hello, strange disembodied eyes of no name.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, indeed.
Reconsidered?
Yes,
No.
although I think it's important to mention that we do not appreciate being hunted.
Behind you, the sound of stone crumbling denotes that the doorway is closing once again.
Mhm.
And the voice comes out from the eyes in the mist once again as it says, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy to see that you've returned.
Regardless of the circumstances.
I lean back over to Darren and I say, what if it wasn't him?
Then I don't want to think about it right now.
Okay.
Regardless of the circumstances, we've come to a bit of a compromise.
Have you now? Give me
I'm
2
willing
seconds.
to
Okay, what is it?
Gotta check on the price of the eyes.
I'm willing to give up one of my eyes.
I had a single order for one, and it seems to have been revoked.
Where does the bidding currently sit?
I can offer you a fair price. Taking into account the cost of the replacement, the procedure, and all of my connections, I can offer you a tune of 6,000 gold. For both of them, obviously.
That is 6,000 after your fee.
Yes.
After everything, yes, that's the amount you'll walk away from here if you choose to take this rather good deal.
I'm sorry, Ivan. I'm sorry, Tilda.
Ivan, please tell Tilva that I had no part in this deal.
How quickly can you set up the replacement? And, well, the
The
entire
sound of
procedure.
crumbling can be heard from behind you as the doorway opens up, and a group of 3 hooded figures step into the room. One
Oh
of
my.
which has what seems to be like a small case in his hand. It's got a little wooden handle at the top and is shaped like a rectangle. You can hear the sound of like metal inside clinking about. Another one steps forward and he has some sort of like glass vessel in his hands that has like a liquid in it and something murky inside. And the third one steps through, and he has in his hand what appears to be like some sort of magical implement. It looks very much like a dagger, though there's something odd about it. As the three
Scalpel.
step in, the voice responds, and he says, "I can have things done very quickly."
Perhaps you should ask about the eyes that you're getting. You don't want a dud.
The voice calls and says, "Show him the eyes." One of the figures
Sure.
steps forward and produces this large jar here. And you can see, as it's shown to you here, as a thin beam of light makes its way into the room past one of the closed windows through one of the slits there, that inside of the jar are a pair of eyes with two disconnected nerve cords that kind of float behind them.
Who owned these eyes previously?
The person holding the jar shrugs.
I give him like a little nod. I was just curious, mostly. Do they look? Wait. Do they look like good eyes?
Ah, the lighting's
How-
not very good, but you can make a
Are-
perception check with disadvantage if you so desire.
Are they illusory eyes?
You can tell that they're not illusions, but
that'd
good
be
thing to
real
check.
fucked. That'd be all kinds
Um,
of fucked.
Can I make the check too? I'm a little concerned about Dunearn's
go
eyes.
for it. Disadvantage perception check.
So that's 13.
Damn it, I almost had double 17s.
From within the somewhat murky liquid, it seems like they're in good condition. A pair of eyes that Dudarin is about to buy look like they're fine.
I look back to the disembodied eyes and I say, what are they? They're just mundane eyes. They nothing special about them, but they work. I take it.
They belong to a humanoid. I've already purchased them in anticipation of
can-
this deal closing.
And you can guarantee that they will work.
Of course.
And if they don't,
And that would be a shame. Though I
On
trust
whose-
in these gentlemen and their ability to perform the procedure. Isn't that right?
As do-
And they all bow towards the eyes.
that's not really what I'm questioning. I'm more or less. I want a guarantee, and I want to know upon who does the burden lie if it doesn't work. Even if the chances are minimal that that would be the case.
I'm a long-time salesman in this city. If something goes wrong, you can go and speak with the Ifrit and bring them here and we can talk it over. Though I assure you that all the wares that I sell are acquired legally and will function just as I say they will.
I give him a nod.
My associates here have assured me of such a thing, and I have done business with them before and have no reason to doubt them.
Also, I got all my sound back.
Now, what do you
Well,
say,
Darren.
Darren?
Tell me what.
I would say the eyes will likely work.
From a muffled sound underneath one of the hoods here, the one holding like the case that has all the tools goes, Darren?
I look back and I give him like a little, like a side eye nod. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's him.
You think you hear like a no fucking way.
Why am I famous? It makes no sense. I just look back at eyeballs, and I don't suppose there's a shot of whiskey I can have before this procedure.
Oh, you'll be fine, Dudarin.
You hear the sound of glass clinking and paper ruffling as a few items appear on the shelf from the mist up ahead. You see what looks to be a glass with a couple of shots worth of some sort of brown alcohol liquid there, and also a inkwell with a little feather hanging out of it, and a piece of paper, a contract that involves the sale of your eyes.
Middleton, please read this.
Certainly. I read through the document carefully.
The contract has been made out in common, and all of it seems to be made out in common, except for a small amount at the bottom. And what you see there at the bottom is written in something familiar. I'd like you to make an intelligence check.
Oh, Ignan, I'm betting. But let's see if I get it. What's my plus? That's 15.
You remember this, though you can't read it. You know this is Ignan.
And what does this part in Ignan say down here?
Merely that it's a business transaction that has taken place in the City of Fire. All taxes are to be paid appropriately to our fantastic Ifrit overlords. It's standard. I'm aware that you're new here, but anyone doing any contract involving this much money will have to sign something like this.
I give him a nod, like, okay, I understand.
We've had dealings with contracts before. I just wanted to.
Well, everything is written out in common if you would like to read it yourself, Darren, but it appears to be in order.
Looks good to you. That's enough for me. I will take it back, put it on the counter, dip the quill in some ink, and sign my name.
You sign your name on the paper, and with a scratch, the tip of the quill leaves this piece of parchment, and a faint magical energy runs over the paper. The whole thing rolls up and forms a tidy scroll, and then rolls backwards into the mist and disappears there, leaving but the inkwell and a large glass of whiskey. You drink it?
I grab it, and before I chug it down, I just say, well, that illusion of yours is going to be the last one I see. And just down the remaining shots.
Okay. You pound back all of the whiskey, and the few robed men here step towards Dudarin. One of them, however, stops midway and looks over towards the rest of you and says, "Some space, please."
Okay, I'll back up.
Okay. As you step away, one of them places his hand on your shoulder, Dudarin, and motions for you to move over to the corner of the room. Do you do so?
Yeah, I'll follow their instructions.
Tells you to lay down on the ground, and one of them begins to rifle through his toolbox. The three of them huddle around him so that across the room, you guys can't really see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
I'm just
You
gonna
stay there.
I'm just gonna look at like all the magic baubles and whatnot.
Ah, okay. Make a perception check for me.
See if I find anything interesting. Like,
Do so at
how's-
disadvantage because it's a very dimly lit room.
This guy doesn't want
Oh,
anybody
you're an
to
elf.
buy
You're
anything.
fine. You can
Yeah.
roll a single one.
Oh. Oh, then did I have to roll a disadvantage with the eyeballs?
For that one, the liquid would have been murky, so it probably would have
Yeah.
not helped either way. But
Gotcha.
oh,
Ah!
shit. Okay.
That's a lovely 6.
You don't see anything that seems actually magical, which is worrisome, knowing that there might be a lot of pain around the corner. But one of them does seem to pull out a potion and instructs Dudarin to drink it. Dudarin, you're presented with a potion that seems to be filled with like slightly whitish greenish liquid. Do you drink it?
But can I tell what it is?
Ah. You would have to make your own check to see it.
Disadvantage?
Yep. Let's see how
Alright,
good
Oh
it
wait a
is.
minute, was I going to check the magical items that the like quote unquote doctors were using?
Yes.
It's only a 7.
That's what I
Oh no,
thought.
I was just looking at like all the stuff he has in his shop.
Oh, okay.
I
did
don't. I'm sure Darren's fine.
What did you get there, Vorok?
7.
A 7? Okay. You're able to see a potion bottle, but not with enough detail that you can quite get anything as to its properties. Darren, do you drink this liquid?
I will smell it first.
Okay.
Like that changes it.
Smelling the liquid, it has a floral scent to it.
I'll drink the potion.
You drink the potion and go to hand it back. Or at least you try to, but your arm doesn't really make it all the way. One of them kind of grabs your arm, partway, and you can feel there's like a tingling sensation from his hands as he holds your arm and like gently lays it down and takes the potion bottle from your grasp, and everything begins to drift away. The last thing that you see is a pair of hands like reaching up and prying your eyes apart here as darkness takes you. Now, I want you to go ahead and make for me a Constitution saving throw to see how well you handle having your eyes replaced.
Oh,
based.
Right.
That is a 23.
Okay, you managed to do this table talk without any complications.
It's just
You
like
guys
having your
wait
wisdom
here.
teeth removed.
That was the most important roll of the night.
As you wait here, these men operate with a impressive efficiency. Tools are passed from the box to another person, to another, and then to another. There are the sounds of flesh being cut, and it's rather concerning. Every now and then you'll hear something that sounds like almost like Velcro being pulled apart, or like something rubbery snapping, the snipping of metallic items, and then eventually the sound of like magical spells as well. One of them sounds like a ghoul letting out like a faint howl. Another one sounds like a church bell chiming off in the distance. By the time that less than about 5 to 10 minutes approximately has passed, one of them kind of leans back and you hear lets out a sigh as though he's finished. Alright. He begins to get up to his feet while another one finishes packing away his tools. Another one takes a jar and places it on the shelf, and the jar begins to kind of like move and wobble over the wooden surface as it disappears into the mist. The three figures eventually approach, and they all kind of give a bow towards the eyes, and you hear the sound of coin, and eventually a sack of like heavy with coin lands onto the shelf here, and one of them takes it, and the three of them give another bow. They walk over, they give a bow to your group, and then they step out through the door.
I'll give a bow as they bow to us.
Okay. You have just witnessed some amazing professionals, though their trade is definitely a bit strange. You guys go to check on Dudarin?
Yeah.
I'll go check on him.
Okay.
What does his face look like?
I'm,
All
I'm
fucked up
assuming
now.
this is much like getting your wisdom teeth removed.
The group makes its way over and checks on Dudarin. And as you look down at the man, you can see that his eyes are closed right now. But there are the telltale lumps that show that there must have been something replaced there. He seems like he's in a deep sleep. And around his eyes, you can see what look to be different fluids and things like that, and like little smidgens of blood here and there. Though it's clear that the men have made some sort of effort to try and clean it up, like dabbing it with a cloth, but not quite getting all of it before leaving.
But this, I mean,
I open his
to
eye
the
and
best
look at
of my knowledge, does this look like good work?
Ah. You're able to see that when Vorok opens one of his eyes here, there are a pair of regular brown eyes. And suddenly they
Don't
move.
touch it.
Dudarin, you wake up in a strange kind of stupor. You have a single level of exhaustion. Okay? Go ahead and remove...
Goliath hands on your eyes.
Go ahead and remove those effects that I'd given you from before. As you look around in the room, you have the vision of your regular human self before your near-death experience. And a sensation of horrible pain that comes from your face.
As I open my eyes, I just go, ouch.
Are you
Perhaps you're
blind?
going to need more whiskey in the future.
Stop touching my eyes.
Do you let go of him, Vorok?
Yeah, I'll let go.
Okay. As you
Perhaps
close your
we'll
eye,
let him
Dudarin,
rest.
The pain starts to go away, and you're able to sort of rest a bit more. You can feel that you're still under the effects of some sort of magical potion, but it's fast disappearing. And when your eyes were like pried open there by Vorak, it was horribly painful, but now that he's let go, you're able to kind of relax again. The voice from beyond the counter calls out and says, "Very well, the deed is done. I thank you all, and I believe that this is yours. Before I get to it, did you want that in gold, platinum? Were you looking for bars?
Are my senses together besides being able to see?
Yes, you can hear. You feel like you can move, though it's going to be a little uneasy at first.
So I'm not slurring my words or anything.
No.
Okay, I will just like kind of sit up in the chair.
Okay.
So, we need the 2 scrolls first.
Ah.
Yes. Should we also get the magic components for Mavern and Westry?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll hand him the list again. So these magic components, a teleportation scroll to where did they want it? Silcha?
The desert place.
Strange place
Silcha.
to go.
Not for us. Partners. And are you familiar with say what would they do we even know what it's called? There's
The Azure City.
yes, there's a settlement of Azur in the mountain range not too far from here. Could we get a teleportation scroll to there?
Let me see. There's a pause for a bit, and then eventually, the voice returns and says, "Sorry, there's rumors of teleportation circles in that town, but I don't have them."
How close could we get?
As I had mentioned before, there was that group of wizards. They're not too far away. Other side of the mountain.
That seems rather complicated. It would be much easier for us to just go to Valu, I think, at that point.
I have a circle that is nearby. Let's see.
Would that happen to be-
It's in the forest
that
near Valu.
The druids.
I'm not certain who looks over it. It's clearly an old record that I have here, however.
We are familiar with the druids of that forest.
No, it's
is
the Lizard
likely-
City.
Hmm?
It's the Lizard City.
Oh no. Meneltune doesn't know that though.
Dude, Aaron probably wouldn't remember either. like-
Oh no, we're gonna be so fucked when we go there.
It sounds
Well-
better than the Wizards.
Yes, the old city of Valu, did it have any teleportation magic?
Let me see here. Rumor has it that it did, though.
None of those sigils are known to you, I take it.
No. I could attempt to get a hold of them. You'll have to wait a few seconds here.
Seconds?
Yes. Let me see.
I suppose we can spare a few.
No.
I don't know about the source. It's new to me. But somebody proclaims to have them. It'll cost you, though.
No. Should we...
He's putting up the price for... Let's see here. I might be able to talk him down. Tough customer. 150 for the location.
And then for the scroll entirely?
I would say for your 3 items, so this small shopping list you have here, and the 2 scrolls, we could do 1,000 even, plus the 150. Leaving
I
you
look to the
with
group.
just under 5,000 at the end. Raw cash. How does that sound?
I look to the group.
Dude, Aaron's just like on the ground.
I'm
My
sitting up.
face.
That sounds fine, I
Mm.
guess.
Let me see if I can put that in then. And it's done. Perfect. I shall have these scrolls ready for you soon. Give me a brief moment here. Ah, there we are. Items begin to appear onto the table. First, you see 2 scroll cases, and after that, you see a small chest, which is placed there as well. The chest has a sound that comes along with it of different components inside rumbling about. It has attached on top what appears to be a small piece of paper that has the different items that have been requested by Maverick
Right.
and Westry.
Okay.
These 3 things are given over to you, and then the voice calls out again and says, "Very well. So that leaves you with, what was it? 4,850.
4,850. Yes.
Is there anything else you wish to buy?
Well, you don't have perchance an easier way to carry this rather large chest.
Oh, sorry, I should mention, it's not very big. It's like a foot by a half foot. You could stuff
That's
it in your
still-
backpack.
Okay.
It's like smaller
Do
than
you
a
have any other-
shoebox.
Do you have any other interesting magical items for under that price? Naturally.
Table talk, bag of holding, cough, cough.
Table talk, bag of holding, cough, cough, illusion, cough, cough.
Well, I can go looking for you. This is the City of Brass, of course. Here. How about I give you guys that, and because we're very close to the time, we save the shopping episode for next time. How's that?
Okay.
Who's gonna be treasurer?
I can keep track of it.
You guys cool with that?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
I'm a little blind at the moment.
For the moment, it's not necessarily on your person, but instead placed onto the
Right.
counter. But Mental Tyranny,
Yeah.
please go ahead and add to your inventory the 2 scrolls,
4,000.
one for Silchaw and one hopefully for the old Volu. All of the items that Maverick and Westry wanted, so a little care package for them, and 4,850 gold pieces.
Okay. Excellent.
We will end the session there. I hope you all enjoyed yourself, and we'll get to shopping next week when we return.
The best
Next
episode.
time, shopping and murder.
Shopping and murder. Oh, it's gonna be an action-packed episode. I love this because it's like, so what was the first thing you guys did when you got to the City of Brass? Well, we sold one of our characters' eyes. How many people get to say that?
Right? They
It was
hey,
so. It's like it was a hard choice to say no, and it was a hard choice to say yes.
Yeah.
yo, when you got those valuable eyes, though, man.
So, I mean, out of your curiosity, Illusion, now that they've been sold, will they do we get ripped off on the eyes? Or is
Oh.
that an actual, like, decent price?
Did you get ripped off on the eyes? You guys got semi-ripped off. Table talk.
Really?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
because
They're
when
God's
you went
eyes.
away,
He probably pocketed roughly about $3,000 to $4,000 of profit when you guys could have picked up more of that for yourself. That being said, it does kind of come down to like, what is the value of all these connections, right? This guy,
right?
he's literally like, just hold on a sec. Okay, I got it. Like, I got a guy on the line. So like, you gotta
Right.
kind of ask yourself, like, you know, what that's worth to you. So if you guys were willing to do all the legwork, you probably could have saved
mean,
a few thousand.
Honestly,
When
with
you've been
like
shanked
what
in
we're
an alleyway,
I just
With,
didn't know
like-
if it was like this thing's worth 50,000 gold that we
No.
got completely scammed or no. Okay.
no.
Curious.
what we're about to get with like connections for basically any magical item we could fathom, I'm pretty content with what he charged.
I mean, we're not exactly gonna have this connection for long.
Exactly.
Hey, maybe you guys
Yeah.
will come back and do business later. Like, hey, remember me? I sold you my eyes. Wink, wink. Could be useful.
Mhm.
Well,
Get a
it's-
return
it's-
scroll to the plane of fire.
It's
Mm.
more the fact that the city's not gonna like us very soon.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, if we can make a clean getaway, how would they
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, right. One guy just
Well, I mean, now
suddenly
that we have the
disappears.
scroll, like, let's just
One guy
like find one,
disappears.
pull him into an alley, and like jump into the scroll with them.
Because, like, the Tabaxi probably don't want to tell anyone. So it'd just be like an episode of Dexter where someone just goes missing.
Well, I mean,
True.
we don't even have to go into an alley. We just like kill the guy. Like, we'll preferably get the gold first, kill the guy, and then just jump right into a portal.
Just dip. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Quick,
CSI
quick
City of
nod
Brass.
from the Tabaxi and everybody's out.
yeah, exactly. Like, have fun in your snow desert.
So
He's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, whatever, dude.
getting
I mean-
paid does not count on you believing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if I mean, if this all goes successfully, then we now have an ally in the desert
Mm.
for whatever that's worth.
If we
Across the
get there
world.
before season 2.
Yes, so we'll see. I'm chugging away on that as fast as I can, and I'm hoping to have it soon. But you know, it comes in bursts as my writer's block comes and goes.
I mean, his family is indebted, forever indebted to the lineage of
Hello.
Dudarin.
The second you get to Silcha, make sure to rename the city Valu.
Trust me, it'll be useful.
We should tell him that, honestly.
Is this devil out there somewhere?
He signed this shitty contract. We probably got fucked over, really, but hey, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, name your
Yeah,
town.
what is this pattern of us selling really valuable, like, magical items for, like, oh god,
They
Or
call
what?
it capitalism.
like a puzzle box, Dudarin's eyes, and it's like,
Well, I mean, the puzzle box at least let us live.
Yeah, you didn't really
Yeah.
sell that. It was
Yeah.
like a favor for a favor kind of thing. This time you
Yeah.
actually
Like
got
a-
a lot of change for it. Like you
It
guys
was like,
have
hey,
a lot
I
of gold.
won't steal your souls, and then, you know, I get something in return.
You might have just become the richest party. Maybe. I think Wednesday is
Oh,
close, but you just like pulled pretty far ahead in the rankings. You're
I
at
feel
least
like-
in second place.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
but now
we're-
we're not the party with God eyes. So
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. You know, it is what it is. Anyway, we're gonna end it here. Awesome job, players. The audience, thanks for tuning in. Patrons, you guys are great. We'll see you next time. Adios. And
Oh.
there we go.
after this is all over, I'm writing a book about Dudarin. Because